Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my Asexual Life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button right down below, right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we're going along. If you're enjoying the content, if you find it useful, helpful, insightful, or entertaining in any way, shape, or form, do give it the thumbs up. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life, and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of Asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Well, welcome to tonight's episode, which is all about talking about what stupid things sexuals say to sex repulsed asexuals, otherwise known as what shit sexuals say to asexuals. So if you're fed up of hearing what sexuals say to you, if you're a sex repulsed asexual or just really don't want to talk about sex, stay tuned. So if you remember, I told you I'm trying something different lately, and that is that I'm in some dating groups on Facebook which aren't for asexuals. So they by and large are for sexuals, you know? And basically yeah, so I've seen how it's gone. I've posted my picture in them. Obviously, I've not got boobs out like most of the women have in them, and I've posted my pictures and I explained that I'm asexual. I don't want sex. And even though I explained all this, they still are not listening, and it becomes quite infuriating. So I'm going to read you out some of the comments and private message from Facebook. Some of the type of things they say. So I'm on Facebook now, and I obviously you can't see my screen, I can just see you. And do you know what I mean? I've literally got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then I have to go down a bit. So it should have a drop down 13. I got 13 messages in this inbox. And then I've got a further in my filtered messages 1, 2, 3, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37 messages. I mean, one thing I have to say about sexuals in their favour is they're very proactive when it comes to dating. You know, like when you try and message asexuals, you're lucky if you get one reply back, and you have to usually do the proactiveness in replying. So I'm not saying that everything about sexuals is really bad, but it's just very bad when they say stupid things to you, which is the opposite of what you want. Do you understand what I mean? And I've also got some more messages in my inbox as well, so over 39, so over 40 people. Do you know what I mean? So that's quite a lot of people, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And my picture's not sexual. I mean, the last one, you know, it was when I was taken poorly. I was wearing an Eeyore top. You can only see this like little bit of the top. Yeah, I had one shoulder. You could see my neck. It was a day when I hadn't even combed my hair. It was a day when I wasn't feeling well. So, you know, I mean, some of these messages are just like, hello there, kiss, how are you? I mean, that one actually lives in the UK. But do you know what I mean? When you click through their profile, you see that a lot of them that say they live in the UK don't actually live in the UK. But this apparently does. But it's such a, you know, this person's got one picture on there which just looks like it's been photoshopped. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, is it even worth replying to? Probably not, because it looks pretty much fake. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? There's nothing on here, nothing on their profile, which is always dodgy. It'll be like no friends, I guess. Oh, they have got friends on there. And it's so if you look through their friends list, you can see if they've just basically friended loads of women. So this is what I do if I really, really, really want to spend time browsing their profile and seeing what they're actually up to. Yes, it's all women. So you can tell that the only reason they set up this profile is basically to friend request women and get women on there. That's it. All they've got is a load of women. I mean, why would I be interested in being friends with someone who's just got a blooming load of women all over their Facebook friends list? No. Oh, it looks like there's one bloke on there. Whoop, whoop. But the rest of them, and you can tell some of them are in just, you know, really sexual poses and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I won't be replying to him. And, you know, and all I'll be doing with that one is literally clicking through it. And on Facebook, I don't know if you know, but you can click, I don't want to hear from that person. So you just click, I don't want to hear from that person. So if you click don't want to hear, you can delete the conversation or you can block. I'm going to delete it. So there's the next guy, right? The next guy. Don't forget, I've put a post in the dating group. Let's see what type of post I wrote. UK singles. I wrote about the fact that I didn't like sex. Let me see if I can get it actually up. So let me see if I can get it up on Facebook, right? So if I can get, oh yeah, this guy. I've got another one from a guy who's like so much older than I wanted to have. Do you know what I mean? It's like, let me have a look at UK singles again, because that's what it's called, UK singles. So my post, I have to say, is one of the ones that gets looked at nearly all the time, which must really annoy all the sexuals in the group. If I can find my post, there's been a lot of oh, that's a shame. There's a guy from India, but he's a lot older. Shame. But my post has got a lot of views actually, or it's got like 49 people, I think, liked it. Oh, 2 people laughed, I think. In fact, I don't want sex. I'm trying to find it for you. I can't actually find it. Oh, here it is. So just so you can see the picture of me. I mean, this is when I was poorly. I mean, I do look really nice, I've got to admit, but this is when I was poorly. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you can see that, can you? Can you see that? Can you actually see that? Yeah. It's a nice picture of me, actually. And this is, well, you can't see the post. But I'm just proving to you, obviously, what I'm actually saying. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to catch up with my messages. Oh, hi, Sam. Sorry. I was on Facebook, so I wasn't on my screen. I've got my screen open on YouTube. I wasn't. Oh, it's nice to see you, Sam. And hi, Ray. It's good to see you as well. I know you sent me some videos, but I was going live. Ray and Tundra. I just put this on Facebook. I love how you men fall in love with a photo. Ha ha. That's really funny. I get quite a few messages from sexuals, even straight guys. Sam. My profile says I don't have any interest in sex too. They don't seem to read that part. Yes and yes. I'm glad you agree with me. Sorry for the lateness in saying hello to you. I do apologise. But yeah, I have to say that Sam does get a lot of sexuals, straight sexuals, so meant to be heterosexual guys, messaging them saying basically they're interested in a relationship with them. Do you know what I mean? And my friend Sam identifies as non-binary, but is male in body. So, you know, clearly they're attracted to the male physique, not just the female physique. So they're not actually just heterosexual. Do you see what I'm saying? And so it is very obvious to me quite a lot of the time, even when I'm on asexual dating sites, that a lot of guys are into guys. And I read quite a lot about this on the internet. Like when I read as well to do with asexuality.org, some statistics they got, it was like it was on the increase in London specifically of guys being attracted to guys. And I honestly do believe, from when I've talked to loads of asexual guys or people that are guy in body, that guys really are into guys far more than women. Honestly. I don't know why it's such a taboo topic. I mean, I think a lot of the time women don't stand a chance, really, because I think they're really into guys. Sam, one was out with his girlfriend when he messaged me. Oh, they're just sick, those type of people, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you've got a girlfriend, like, don't do it. And I've got people actually in my inbox that message me that are in relationships because I put that in the group. Do you know what I mean? I was fed, you know, I don't want people messaging me that are already in relationships. So I think it's yeah, that's what I put. I'm gonna read it out. Yeah. Hi, I want to this was on the 9th of November. I've got over 40 messages from this. Hi, I want to introduce myself again. I am Sandra from UK. I'm looking for a British born and British resident guy because I'm not doing guys from abroad in this group. They all want visas all the time. That's all they're after is visas. I've even had a guy messaging me saying, "Oh, you can help me to get a visa." Oh, thanks for some thumbs up. Appreciate that. You know, it's like I'm not interested in getting you a visa. Just blocked. You know what I mean? Even this other guy in this group said, "Oh yeah, is that by any chance because you want a visa?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, well, tell me all about you." And it was a guy actually asking that. I mean, he wasn't interested in the guy. He was just asking, is it because you want a visa? Basically, the guy said, yeah. So anyway, I'm looking for a British born and British resident guy. I mean, I would like a foreign guy who's British born, if I'm perfectly honest. That would be my ideal. An Indian guy who's born in the UK would be ideal, who's asexual, heteromantic. Because I don't want a guy anymore from abroad because I'm not interested in getting married. I'm not getting married for some visa. So unless a guy's pretty wealthy and can come over here of his own accord and pay for his study or his own accommodation and food, he can absolutely forget it because I'm not interested. Right? I don't need that in my life. I can pay my own stuff. He can pay his own stuff. I put yeah, this is really funny. So I put I'm looking for a British born and British resident guy who is not already in a relationship and who does not want marriage or sex. So I've put that in the beginning of my profile bit, you know, beginning of this, which you can see. I'm just reading it out just to prove that I actually say all this stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'm not making it up. I put so many people. Oh God, can you see the reflection off my phone? The whole thing looks like I'm orange. Wow. Can you see my room looks like it's orange? It seems like the phone's changed the screen orange. That is really freaky. Yeah, weird. Spooky. I feel like I'm on a like Star Wars movie where Darth Vader's got his like lightsaber out that's red and he's beaming at me or something. Anyway, I put so many people in this group are already in relationships. Love the one you're with or be single. I am a romantic, sorry, in this group because it's for sexuals. I have to try and make them understand what asexuality is. So I put I'm a romantic, hetero, asexual girl, not heterosexual in sexual orientation. I hate sex. So clearly I've said I hate sex. And I've already previously said that I don't want sex. So I've made it clear twice. So I hate sex but love kissing with my clothes on. So looking for a sex-free. Again, 3 times I said I don't want sex. Forever monogamous relationship with a younger guy in his 20s. I have more in common with younger guys and prefer them aesthetically. I don't want marriage or kids either and love living on my own. Right, and my post has got 70 oh, Ray stuck up for me. Look at Ray, bless him. They're just being idiots. Some of these people are going fake. The only people that call me fake in there are the ones that are faking themselves. I have to say that. But anyway, they're the ones that are like usually live abroad and trying to get a visa. So I got 51 like either like thumbs up or whatever, hearts. I think I've got a couple of people like laughing and 73 comments. So I've got a lot of comments actually. But yeah, Ray stuck up for me. I haven't seen that last one about, you know, or that maybe that's come up last, but it wasn't the last comment. So do you know what I mean? It's just like, but anyway, so I'm going to go through some of the comments because they're really quite rude, some of them. Well, I say rude as in, not as in rude as in like vulgar, some of them, but it's just like stupid. So obviously I've told the person in the group, the people in the group, that over 3 times I don't want sex. So this guy comes on and messages me and says, "Hi, you are so sexy." And this person lives in the UK. I mean, some of these guys aren't bad looking, but when you know what I mean? But when you click through their profile, you realise they're just like sex mad. And also, because obviously they said you're so sexy, it's pretty obvious they want sex. And yes, I go onto their Facebook now and a woman's got her ass out with nothing on it. I don't think I want to be, I'm going to block him. I don't want to know him. I mean, do you know what I mean? You said you don't want sex yet. You know what I mean? You've got people messaging you saying you're so sexy and having women on their profile with their ass out that's got no panties on. Don't think so. Block them. So that's that. And oh right, I had one guy who messaged me and friend requested me, right? I think they messaged me, but they friend requested me anyway. So I went through their profile and you look down their profile pics and one of them had a picture of a woman with a tattoo round on her chest further up here that said Queen of Blowjob. I mean, are they this stupid that they honestly believe that I would want to be friends with a guy when I say 3 times or more that I don't want sex and he's got a picture of a woman saying Queen of Blowjob on his Facebook profile? I mean, not only that, is it just stupid guys like that even message me, it's stupid to think that someone who doesn't want sex would want to see that on their Facebook profile. They think you must be fake because you don't want sex. Yes, I'm guessing so, but to be honest, I just don't believe them because I'm not fake. I mean, clearly, if they click through my profile, they know I'm not fake. They're just doing it to get me out the group, I think, because some of them do it to manipulate. They want to say I'm fake so they can try and say I'm a fake profile and get me out of the group, but it doesn't work because I'm not fake. I actually messaged, I think it was the admin of that group. I think it was the admin. I talked to him about someone else that was playing up in the group. I think it was that one. I'm in at like 3 now. But I messaged someone because they weren't very nice. I don't know if it's that or if it was the other one. Ray would know more. I can't remember because there was one where they weren't being nice to Ray and I reported them. And you know, me and Ray stick up for each other in these groups, which is good. One person actually apologized to me when they found out I was your friend. Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Who was that? I bet I can't really say on here, can you? I suppose you could say their first name. But yeah, was that a sexual person? I'm guessing it was. But yeah, yeah, anyway, so a lot of the ones that say fake, when I look at their profile, they are actually fake. They're the ones that go from abroad, that are from abroad, that just want a visa. So they're just saying it to me as a reflection of them. So I don't usually get involved. I just ignore them most of the time. I don't even bother replying to them because they're just Chrissy. Yes, they are the fakes, exactly. Oh, I'm not sure. I have to like have a private chat with you about that thing. Was it the one that wasn't being nice to you, Ray? I presume it's the one that wasn't being nice to you, was it? If it was that one, then yeah, I spoke to the admin about that person. I did actually put in the message as well that you are a lovely guy. So if it was that one, then they've obviously seen, and I said that you're my friend and that you're a good guy. So yeah, exactly, they're fake. I just take no notice of them. I don't waste my breath. I got more things to do with my time in life. So this basically is another person, right? And I've clearly say I want a British resident, British born guy in the UK, right? This guy lives in Romania and has put, hello, Sandra. Do you know what I mean? Lives in Romania. What's the point in me replying? Do you know what I mean? I'll just delete that one. And then, you know what I mean? And this one's so funny. He's a member of UK Singles, right? Which is the group I'm talking about. And he goes, hi, how are you? It's so-and-so from Morocco. Do you know what I mean? They can't even, they just, you know, they're so behaving so stupidly. When I've said clearly I don't want someone, you know, unless they're British born or in British residency, and they're like, oh, from Morocco, have 36 years old, would like to know you for the best relation friendship. Some of them want friendship. I'm not having it. Because, you know, a lot of the time they want a female in the UK for friendship so they can worm their way into your affections so that you can get them into the country. I don't need these type of friends because I've got obviously my beautiful asexual friends. I'm not looking for friends. I'm clearly looking for a relationship. I'm not going to spend time being friends with 20 sexual guys when just they're using me to pass the time or to get me into the country. It's not what I'm in those groups for. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there is one friend, well, obviously it's more one friend because I've made friends with Ray, which is important to me. I made a great friend in Ray, and there was another guy that I believe is asexual that is in one of my asexual groups now. And there's another woman I've made friends with, and she doesn't really speak to me in private message, but she follows my stuff because her son's asexual at 16 years old. And so she really wants to support him. So there are a few good people in there that happen to be asexual or understand asexuality. One guy was an idiot, though, because one guy, right, who said, oh, he goes, I'm asexual too, but you're being selfish because you won't have sex with someone. Or if you don't have sex, you should let them have sex with someone else. I just ignored him. I just think that's disgusting. Just because you are ace, I had 7 from Ghana or blocked. Yeah, I get them all the time, Ray. But you know, just because I'm asexual doesn't mean to say I don't deserve monogamy. You know, if a guy clearly wants sex, don't be with me. I'm not twisting your arm. I'm not forcing you to be in a relationship with me. Don't be with me. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that I don't want sex. There are people guys that don't have sex. There are people that are asexuals that don't have sex. There are people with disabilities that can't physically have sex. There are guys that are impotent that can't have sex. There's a lot of people, even if you're not asexual, there's still a lot of people out there that can't have sex for whatever reason. Do you know what I mean? It just really kind of winds me up a little bit. It's like, you know, to be honest, I think they're being the selfish, thinking that everyone's got to be the same as them. No, everyone's not going to be the same as them. Everyone's not going to be heterosexual in life. Everyone's not going to be interested in sex. Everyone's not going to be having sex. Do you know what I mean? Just because they don't want that, that's fine. Don't bother with me. Leave me be. Don't comment. Go away. My posts are not designed to attract people who are sexual. My posts are designed to hone in the people or the guy that is interested in me for who I am, not for any other reason. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, you write a post knowing what you want. It's important. So, yeah, you know, 36 years. I mean, obviously, I do like foreign guys. You know, if I'm thinking about it from a complimentary point of view, a positive point of view, I've got a lot of foreign guys that message me. But as we all know, foreign guys, sadly, specifically in these sexual groups, are very much after visas. So anyway, I don't want to hear from him, even though he might be a nice guy. I don't know. I haven't. Oh, should we click through his profile first? Let's click through his profile and see if he's got any sexual stuff. Not that I really want to know. But, you know, they've either got sexual stuff on there. They've either got sexual stuff on their profile usually, or they've got loads of women friends, if their friends aren't on secret, and they've got barely any pictures on there. Like they've just created the picture, or they've hardly put any pictures up of themselves. And I noticed they've got a picture of a Bollywood Indian guy on there. But I mean, look again, like, okay, they've got a few guys. This person's got a few guys, but the majority are, yeah, they've got a few guys, which is, they've got some guys, which is better than some profiles. So yeah, that is kind of good. They've got more guys. Women meeting women. That's very interesting. A guy is interested in women meeting women. Okay. I'm not, I don't think they're trans. They don't look trans to me. And they've said they're a guy. So interesting. And then I always go through, it's really good when you're doing this, like if you want to see what they're like, to look at the followers they've got and who they're following. So obviously if they're just following women with boobs and stuff, then actually their profile's not bad for someone who's in a sexual site compared to some others. But you can tell that still some of the women are really, do you know what I mean? But this person's got like 2 photographs on their profile. One of them, I presume, is of them, and the other one's for the Bollywood guy. Do you know what I mean? Handsome man. That's not him. That's a Bollywood guy, as far as I know. It's not actually him. Unless he happens to look like a Bollywood guy. But no, his hair's completely different. This guy off of Bollywood films. I should know because I watch them sometimes because I like Indian guys, don't I? So that's him done. So then I go back to the messages. I just think it's really funny to do this. So basically, yeah, so I get rid of them. It's just really funny. Do you know what I mean? They just write rubbish. Why write such rubbish? Or, you know what I mean? Clearly, I'm looking for someone in the UK. I've put that. Do you know what I mean? It's like they can't have a relationship with me when they're over across there, but a lot of them like to because they just like visas or to get you emotionally hooked. You've got to be so careful online because a lot of these people will want to get you emotionally hooked. Do you know what I mean? So that you fancy them or you think, oh, yeah, I've got to get a visa. Oh, this one's hilarious. It's not hilarious because it's stupid shite, excuse my language, that you should never ever say, oh, sorry, Sam. Hang on a minute, sorry. I need to click your messages. So, where are we? Only females I get in my bed have 4 legs. He. Yeah, dogs. Actually, lovely dogs. Real dogs. Ray, that is probably the smart idea. NTFZ. I lost my virginity when I was 15. Okay. I don't really think I need to know about that because this is a channel which has got nothing to do. Oh, right. You're saying shit to me. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I do apologise. NTFZ has come in purposely to say some shit to asexuals who are not interested in sex. Thank you, NTFS, for giving me some more examples of shit sexuals say to asexuals or stupid things sexuals say to asexuals who are not interested in sex. Right, okay, so what does NTF say? I lost my virginity when I was 15, right? Why am I interested in that other than it's underage and not good? And cock and ball. Okay, yes, stupid things sexuals say to asexuals. Thank you for proving my point. Really appreciate you coming on this channel and injecting some life into the chat, which is stupid comments sexuals say to asexuals and proving my point. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So this guy, right? Oh my goodness me. A member of UK Singles and Singles in the UK. Guess what this guy's put? This is shit, stupid thing. Sexuals say to asexuals. Boy, did I get... Oh, he can't even say did I. He has to say did A. Boy, did A get aroused seeing you, hun. Kiss, kiss. It's like, am I really interested that I aroused you? I don't think so. No. Please let me delete it. I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and then there's this next person. This person, hey, how are you? I think they're abroad. So this person is like, sent me a friend request as well. Oh, this one's really weird. It looks like he's on the film of like a Hollywood set because it's got like a picture of a lorry that's turned over, but it looks like it's in one of those theme parks. Do you know what I mean? So that's really weird. But he has actually got he's only got 30 friends, which is a bit better than some of them have. But then you have to ask yourself why. And I know a lot of asexuals, they have less friends because they don't need loads of friends. But do you know what I mean? It's just like the picture. He's got one picture on there of him, presumably, with a overturned, looks like ambulance or something. It's really bizarre. Really bizarre. But there you go. So that's really, I know you can't see it. So a friend requested me. I'm not interested. Let's get rid of them. I'm going all through them like live with you because I just think some of it's quite funny. And so, you know what I mean? I find it funny yet insulting at the same time, some of it. But I mean, when they just say, hey, how are you? At least it's not, oh, this one's hilarious. This person's hilarious. So they waved at me, right? I've made it perfectly clear what I'm after, right? Because I've already told you the message. And this person's like, hi. And this person's next thing is, what you want exactly? I mean, like, how can someone say what you want exactly? It's pretty obvious I've said what I want exactly, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like just absolutely stupid things sexuals say to sex repulsed asexuals. It's just ridiculous. So this is another guy, and this person is like just saying hi. And again, they don't even live in the UK, I don't think, from what I can remember. Their posts are from Egypt. So I'm presuming not. Let's delete the friend request. Oh, dearie me. I mean, that was just saying hi. So, you know what I mean? It could be a lot worse, but it's just like, do you know what I mean? It's just, this guy was really creepy. So I blocked him. This guy was already in, was it this guy or someone else? Oh, yeah, this guy was dodgy, so I deleted him. He only said hi, but I looked through his profile and something was wrong, so I blocked him. I can't remember what was wrong with him, but I know there's a guy coming up. Oh, this one. Oh, this is a funny one. This is a load of stupid rubbish about what sexuals say to sex repulsed asexuals, or what sexuals just say to get a visa. It's just hilarious. I mean, honestly, you have to laugh, otherwise you cry. This is from a person who apparently went to Big Boss in Ghana. So, you know, Ray was talking about Ghana, and his first name's Randy. I wonder why. Anyway, this is just, I had to laugh. I'm like, you can't be serious. I don't know what they do with their days. Just spend all their time making up rubbish. I'm single and I'm not in a rush. I want to take everything simple, get to know my soulmate, so we get to know each other better and see if we can make a relationship work. And if you're really who I'm seeing on your profile picture, then I wouldn't mind to be your slave. If you wouldn't mind giving me a chance loving you, beautiful, question mark. I couldn't believe that one. Be my slave. It's like, I don't want someone to be my slave. I'm not a BDSM person, thank you very much. And I'm certainly not interested in giving a guy a visa. So I just thought that's... Oh, and this is the horrible one. This guy is in relationships and he's got a picture of him and his daughter on there. And I just think that's sick when guys do that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you've got a daughter, she's in the picture with you. And if you go on this guy's Facebook profile, he's like, it looks like he's had relationships with different younger girls, one of which was pregnant in one of the photographs. Actually, I have to tell you something that's both disgusting and hilarious at the same time. Like, this guy, obviously you can't see who he is because I protect their identity. But this guy, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought, no, Sandra, just I couldn't help, because I looked through his profile and it seems to me like he purposely picks on girls. But I mean, I like younger guys, so I can't say there's anything bad in liking a younger person. But however, if you go through this guy's profile, you get the sense that it's creepy, that he just literally probably is a guy that is hitting on younger women on purpose because they're vulnerable. And it seems like he's had lots of different girlfriends. And one of the pictures, he's got this girl who's pregnant, which I think is his latest girlfriend, and he's stroking her stomach from behind and literally looks like he's got an erection. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, how could you put that picture on Facebook? Do you know what I mean? Do you even know it's like that? But some guys who are sexual, I have to let you know, it turns them on seeing pictures of themselves like that. They just love stuff like that to show their bits off or whatever. You know, they doesn't faze them. But, you know, I just found this guy so seedy. I'm like, how can you start messaging me in a singles group? You shouldn't be in the single group in the first place because you don't look single on your profile, and you just look like you're going from girl to girl, and you've got like a picture of your daughter on there. I mean, it's just sick. So I completely blocked this person, you know? I'm not interested in a person like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just disgusting to me. And it's like, have you got nothing better to do with your time than just cheat on your girlfriend? Clearly not. And then there's this other person. And like, this person just said a hi, but they live in, again, I mean, they are actually friends with someone I know who's, you know, so I don't know if that was to do with dating or what, but I think, were they in the dating group as well? I can't remember. But I think they're in the dating group, and I found it weird that they've, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they were actually messaging me because of the site, because they've got a mutual friend, but so I don't know about them. But that's like I've still got filtered messages to go through. But there was this one guy, where is it? In my inbox, because I did respond to him. And oh my goodness me, this guy here, right? This guy, right? How's everyone getting on this chat? Right, this guy, right? Honestly, it's so creepy. Oh, actually, he's now I've blocked him. He's got rid of his profile picture of his. I still got a picture of him there, but it looks like he's changed. It looks like he's. Oh, it looks like he might have deleted his account. So he put, "Hello, Sandra. How are you doing, BB? Like baby, as if I'm your baby. You don't even know me. Stupid things sexuals say to asexuals. Exactly. Hi. Which country are you?" I mean, obviously, if they have looked at my profile, they should know which country I'm in. And the fact they say, "Which country are you?" to me means they're not really in this country, even though it said in their profile they were, because that's not proper English. If you're an English speaking person, you don't really talk like that. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's just a person abroad who's deciding to use a British profile, or someone who's not. They did look a little bit foreign though, so maybe it's possible. But do you know what I mean? It's just like, I put UK, but I'm hetero asexual, not heterosexual, and hate sex. And they've gone, "Okay, I understand you. Your good behaviour attracted to me." I mean, this is another stupid thing they say. Do you know what I mean? Like, behaviour's got anything to do with not having sex. You know what I mean? I know some guys, particularly if they are foreign, which he might be, they like asexuals because they're a good person, because they're not having sex. But they still think it's temporary. Do you know what I mean? They just think, "Oh, you're being a good girl. You're not having sex for now." Do you know what I mean? Like this purity thing. It's really, really weird. So I put, "Well, asexuality is my sexual orientation. I lack sexual attraction to anyone, but romantically attracted to guys and like kissing, cuddling, and holding hands, but don't like nudity or sex ever. It's not interesting for me. So it's not about behavior. It's about attraction or lack thereof. All right, can you send me your picture?" Again, an absolutely stupid thing sexuals say to asexuals. I mean, seriously, whenever a sexual says to you, "Can you send a picture?" You know what I mean? You don't. If you've got pictures all over your profile, which I have, you don't need to send a picture. What they mean is they want to see how attractive you are, because they want to fancy you and do whatever over your photograph. That's what they mean. Do you know what I mean? So I put my pictures all over my profile, yours on. So likely you have another Facebook account. And they're going, "No, I see it. You're looking beautiful." Of course, thanks. Because they don't expect you to say, "Yes, of course I look beautiful." They expect you to go, "Oh, really? Oh, tell me more. Oh, really?" You know, because they expect you to be an insecure girl or whatever, which I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't get 40 guys messaging you if you haven't got some remote bit of attraction. Do you know what I mean? I get guys interested in me all the time. So, and then he goes, "Oh, but you can be my best friend." It's like, do you know what I mean? It's just pathetic. It's just pathetic. I'm not interested. So I put, "No, I already have best friends who I've known for a long time." You know, you don't just be friends with someone you don't even know. And I put, "What I'm looking for is a monogamous, faithful, forever relationship without sex ever, which is something you can't give me. But I wish you well in your search to find the right girl for you, and thanks for your interest." And this is how they reply, "Baby, please, that is what I want. We can chalk." We can chart and talk. It meant chat, talk, I think. We can chart, CART, talk. Like, I'm in spell. And honestly, I thought, hopefully they get the message, because I didn't respond. And they sent me this picture, right? Again, more stupid stuff sexuals say to asexuals, or sexuals say in general, right? Guys, and I'm not saying all sexual guys like this. Do you know what I mean? There are good sexual guys who don't participate in playing games and you know and being rude and not appreciating someone's sexual orientation. You know, not every guy is like these guys. This is like, you know, like the sort of extreme ones that are quite apparent in these groups. And he sent me this picture, which is from a website called wishafriend.com. And he's put, "Baby, I feel so lonely without you." I can't even laugh. "I feel so blue. Please tell me when you will be back, as I really can't live without you." I mean, how pathetic is that? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then this guy sent me a video the next day of a peacock saying good morning, but the peacock spanning its feathers out, right? And have a happy, like it says happy day, as if that's supposed to entice me to, oh, he's being so nice and romantic, I've got to drop everything for him. But most people don't realise that, as far as I know, when the peacock spans its feathers out, it's like a mating call. And obviously, I'm not interested in sex, so why would I be interested in a peacock that spans its feathers out, looking like it's trying to attack to mate for sex? I wouldn't. But I guess he's not even thought about that. But anyway, I blocked him, and although his picture's still on the profile, in the messenger, in the messages he sent me, actually on his profile, it looks like he's completely gone off Facebook and deleted his account because he's just greyed out now. So he obviously probably thought I'd report him or something, or someone else has reported him. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like these people are just, you know, ridiculous. So let's go and see what other rubbish sexuals say to asexuals. Now I'm going to go through the filtered messages. There are a lot of them, right? I haven't even looked at some of these. Someone is waving at me. Oh, lovely. Let's have a look at them and see. A lot of these people are way too old. Like, it's like this guy's just too old. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I clearly say I want a guy in their 20s, not someone who's like, I don't even know where it is from Peneth. Where is PHNOM PNH? I haven't even heard of that place before. Asian fusion restaurant. I don't even know where it is. I've never even heard of the place before. Weird. Cambodia, Korea, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, he's way too old for me. I mean, he does like theme parks by the look of it, so that's kind of something in his favour. But he's out with drinking. A lot of these people in sexual groups, right, they love drinking alcohol as well. I can't stand drinking alcohol. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't like it at all. It doesn't turn me on in the sense of even being attracted to a person as a friend, because it's like, I mean, obviously I have friends that do drink, but you know what I mean? If I'm looking for a romantic relationship, I don't want someone really, ideally, that drinks. I mean, if it was a younger Indian guy that drank a little bit, I could probably make allowances. Oh, because I really want a younger Indian guy, preferably one that's asexual, not sexual. But yeah, so it's just like, I don't even know where this guy lives. But anyway, I'm not interested in him. He looks way too old for me. And yeah, I don't get attracted to older guys. I just don't, or anywhere like my birth certificate age is actually. I'm just not attracted to him. So I do get quite a few like that. And I think my Facebook is freezing on all these profiles. Oh dear. I drink Jack Daniels. Oh, do you, Ray? Well, it's, you know, I've got friends. My best female friend, actually, she drinks, well, she used to drink a lot and get really drunk. I don't really mind friends so much because it's not like I'm kissing them. Do you know what I mean? It's really a thing to do with kissing, most of all. And the fact that I don't want a guy coming home drunk. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I don't want to live with a guy, but if a guy's coming back to my place ever, if we end up, you know, like he ends up staying some nights over mine, I don't want him coming back drunk or even smelling his breath. Really, to be honest, I prefer someone who didn't drink alcohol. Some Indian guys don't drink alcohol, actually. They don't like it at all. But I just don't like it, to be honest. I'd rather have someone who didn't drink at all, who did it, you know, like, didn't do, you know, if he doesn't do it when he's with me, that's fine. But I mean, I you know, smoking's the worst, you know. I mean, I could possibly live with drinking, but I can't have someone who smokes cigarettes. That's just complete out after I had 7-week chest infection. Oh, this one's hilarious, right? This is another guy who's absolutely ridiculous. Rubbish he's saying to asexual, someone who doesn't want sex. Hi dear, I love you so very much. I want to marry you as my wife. I mean, honestly, what have I said? I don't want to get married. And even one of the guys, right, in a group said it's funny how these people keep saying about asking you for marriage when you've clearly said in your profile you don't want marriage? They obviously can't read. And so I thought, well, at least that guy's understood. Do you know what I mean? And then there's this other person. Oh my goodness me. These are ones I haven't even read. They look like they're in a foreign country. They put hello, my friend, with a emoji with a kiss. I'm not even interested in that. Just get rid of it. Not interested. And then there's this other person. Hi, Sandra. I'm 25 years old, Hungarian guy. I like you and I like your post. Maybe do you have time? Learn to me original English. After see me, maybe love me. So this is another thing that you have to watch with foreign guys. Ray, okay, I'll give it up. Haha. I'm not going to kiss you, Ray, so you're all right. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to give it up. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to give it up because I'm not going to kiss you. You're my friend, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It only really affects me when a guy is kissing me because I don't like tasting that on his breath. And obviously, if a guy was around me and you know, like my best female friend once, she did get very, very drunk. She didn't even know who I was. And I was worried then. That to me, I mean, she's a lot better now. You know, that, I mean, it was pretty much a one-off. But, you know, she got so drunk. This guy that she used to lodge with, he came and collected her and me and her other friend. And she couldn't she got in the car and she couldn't even remember who it was. She was calling me someone else. And that to me is just like, whoa, I don't want to be with, and to be honest, I don't want to be with a guy who drinks in a relationship because it's just like, I'm just not interested. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like the smell of it. But, you know, like, I'm not, you know, like, I could tolerate that. You know, like smoking, I just can't have for my own health. Like drinking, if it was a little bit, I suppose it would be, you know, maybe something. But I mean, I'm allergic to sugar. If I'm snogging them and my tongue's in their mouth, I'm basically snogging the sugar, aren't I? And so if I'm allergic to certain things, but then, you know, I'm bound to like still snog them when they eat wheat and I'm allergic to wheat. And sometimes in crisps, there can be like trace of wheat and I'm okay with it. So how do asexuals know whether they're gay or straight? Because asexuals are a sexual orientation that lack sexual attraction, but they still have other forms of attraction. So, for example, I'm not attracted to women whatsoever. So I'm only attracted to guys. So an asexual would know, just like any other type of sexual orientation, what orientation they're attracted to, you know, what gender, sorry, they're attracted to. So their sexual orientation is asexual as opposed to heterosexual, bisexual, pansexual, homosexual, but they can be attracted to any gender that's specifically who they're attracted to. So I'm attracted to guys only, known as a heteroromantic asexual. So hetero meaning I'm only attracted to guys, romantically, not sexual. So asexuals will know whether they like the same gender as them or whether they like the opposite gender of them. So a person who's asexual, who's like the equivalent of a gay asexual, would be known as a homo romantic or a homo aromantic, depending on whether they experience romantic attraction or don't experience romantic attraction. So an aromantic asexual guy is someone who doesn't experience romantic attraction or sexual attraction, but he could be attracted to another guy, for example, aesthetically, but not sexually. Or he could be attracted to a guy or a girl. Do you know what I mean? So sexual orientation and gender attraction are two different things. And so anyone can be any sexual orientation and attracted to whatever gender they're attracted to. Does that make sense? So I know I'm only attracted to guys. I'm attracted to guys romantically, emotionally, aesthetically, spiritually, creatively, intelligently. Isn't that just soulmates? Well, in a relationship, you would look for your soulmate, wouldn't you? And I'm interested in the opposite gender. But some asexual women, girls, are not interested in the opposite gender. They are romantically attracted to the same gender. So they would be romantic, you know. So, you know, they're not known as gay or straight. The words gay and straight don't really enter into the asexual vocabulary very much. But some people who are asexual, who are attracted to the same gender, some of them call themselves gay asexuals. other asexuals hate that term because there's no sexual attraction involved, so they're not actually gay. And some people like me, who's heteromantic asexual, so I'm hetero attracted to guys only, call themselves straight asexuals. So I call myself a straight asexual, but it gets very confusing to people because the word straight in general doesn't mean asexual, it means you're heterosexual. So I've given up I've given up mostly using that for myself. But I don't use the word queer for myself. Many asexuals call themselves queer. I don't call myself queer. I don't associate with the word queer. For me, personally, I don't like the word queer for me personally, because to me, asexuality is very natural, and I associate the word queer with being kind of not natural so much. Do you know what I mean? So personally, I have no problem with other people calling themselves queer. I'm quite happy whatever they feel comfortable with. But personally, I don't use the word queer. I would refer to myself as a straight asexual. But I usually say I'm hetero asexual, not heterosexual. Queer has demeaning origins. Yes, from my personal past experience, the word queer has demeaning origins, and so that's when I hear that term, personally, from my own point of view, I don't feel positive. I don't feel good because it, like you say, it has demeaning origins, and that's how I don't class myself as queer, because queer to me means weird, strange. I like being different. I don't mind if someone calls me weird and strange, but actually using the word queer is like it's something that's not quite right and shouldn't be that way. It's queer, it's not right, it's weird, it's strange, it shouldn't be that way. But I should be the way I am because I'm asexual and proud of it. There's nothing wrong with me being asexual. Do you see what I mean? Which is why I don't use the term queer. I hope my voice is not going again. I think it's going to start to go again because I've been ill recently with a respiratory infection. So I'll be very careful my voice doesn't go. I'm not sure why people try to accept it along themselves. Reminds me of black people using N-words on each other. It's an interesting point. It's an interesting point, but I think everyone obviously has the right to identify as they are. But I do understand where you're coming from, because I personally don't, like, I do agree with you that queer has demeaning origins the way I know it. They might not know it that way. They might have grown up in a family that calls, where there's lots of people who are queer or know lots of queer friends, and they don't have any bad connotations or associations with it. So it might be different for them. But in my life, queer always means like isn't right. It's like it's weird, but not in a good way. Weird as in it doesn't fit. It's not right. It's something you shouldn't be. And I should be asexual. It's who I was born to be. It's what I was born to be. And so that I thought the queer word doesn't fit me. It doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't sit well with me. It's not a positive word in my vocabulary to use for myself. However, I know loads of asexuals that use it. So I do not want to, be disrespectful of their decision to use that term, but I just never do, because I'm a heteromantic asexual, always was meant to be, just didn't realize it. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with someone not wanting sex. It's very logical to me that not every single person in their life is going to want sex. I don't know why people can't just see that. I just think, are you blind to reality? The people that can't accept it. Not everyone in the world's going to like everything, are there? There are lots of people that don't like Brussels sprouts. There are lots of people that don't like certain tastes of some cheeses, for example. They might like some, but not some others. There's some people that like eating meat. There's some people who don't like eating meat. There's some people who like eating animals that are domesticated, which I hate and is disgusting. And there's people that don't agree with that, which I would never do. Shouldn't gay people avoid using it in case it provokes other people with different views towards the word? No, I don't think anyone should not use anything just because it is, you know what I mean? You shouldn't be living your life for the sake of other people and where it provokes them or not. People should, if people don't agree with something, they should just move on. I am not going to stop talking about asexuality just because some sexual person doesn't like it. Do you know what I mean? Which is the same for anyone else. Why should they stop identifying or talking about the way they are just because someone else doesn't like it? People should always be true to who they are, what they feel is right, what's good for them. I mean, last night we had a conversation on here in chat about countryside versus city. I have good vibrations from the city. It's energizing. I think my voice is going to start going. It's energizing. It's it's, you know, it's, I feel good, positive, vibrant energy, creative energy. I feel around people. I love it. You know, I love it. And so, you know, I think people should be free to be what they want. Because there was another person who thought the opposite of the sea. They thought it has negative energy, bad energy, because we've both had different experiences. That person feels at one with nature and happy in the countryside. I feel at one with the city. I feel like I have my soul here. I feel like I'm alive and happy and vibrant and energetic, whereas they feel the opposite. And when I'm out in the countryside, I feel like it's too much empty space. I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling like out in the sticks, isolated, cut off, and it's not good for me. Surely then calling someone the N-word can be utterly offensive and disgusting. I don't call people the N-word. So I don't call people the N-word, but yeah, I would say calling someone the N-word is most likely to be offensive to some people. But there's comedians that use it on themselves, isn't there? I've watched comedy shows where they actually are from that sort of background and they call it themselves and start laughing about it. So, to be honest, I don't get too involved in other people's lives. Do you know what I mean? If I got too involved in other people's lives, I haven't got enough going on in my own. Do you know what I mean? So I just try and be respectful for other people and try not to get involved in other people's drama. Because there's no point. I mean, like I said, there's people that are in the sexual dating groups I'm in, and sometimes over my posts, they're just creating drama. There's no need for it. I don't want sex. It's quite clear I don't want it. That's what I'm looking for. If they don't like it, they can move on, can't they? Do you see what I'm saying? People should live for who they are and respect other people for what they are. Do you know what I mean? As long as no one's hurt or, you know, is in pain because of, you know, like hurt as in physically hurt, as in unsafe, or something that's not consensual or anything like that, as in, you know, if we're talking about sexual stuff, then do you know what I mean? And obviously if someone, you know, someone can always block someone, can't they? Or get rid of them out of their lives, which I would suggest if someone's upsetting someone. Do you know what I mean? So, but I don't think someone should stop being who they are. But I think people should respect other people. Like I said, like when you're talking, you should always say, this is my feelings. This is how I feel. This is how I see something. So I've said personally for me, I don't like using the queer word, but it's up to other people. I respect the fact there are loads of asexuals that love using that word themselves. They like that, you know, so I have no problem with them doing it. And I would say to do it because it's their truth. Do you know what I mean? But that's not the way I personally feel about it. I don't personally feel good about that word, so I don't use it. For me, do you know what I mean? But obviously, if someone else wanted me to call them that, then I would call them that if it makes them happy. Do you know what I mean? It's treating people with respect and saying, this is my opinion, this is my view, this is my feelings. You don't have to have the same thoughts, feelings, and everything, but, you know, I respect that. I mean, these sexuals, I don't write anything back that's like particularly, you know, like this guy, you know, when he said about after seeing me, maybe love me, you know, I'll just put, I don't want to hear from you again. Do you know what I mean? That'll be it. And so I'm not being nasty. I'm not writing horrible stuff back going, can't you read my post? I don't want marriage. Do you know what I mean? Because if I was doing that, then, you know, I'd just be writing comments back. Do you see what I'm saying? It's, you know what I mean? I'm not that type of person. What's the point? You know, this person has friend requested me and it's from the singles group and they're in a relationship that's complicated. Why would anyone in their right mind want to get involved with someone who's got a complicated relationship? Your life is complicated enough. You don't want to make it more complicated. So if you ever get messages from people who've got a complicated relationship, don't get involved. Don't reply or respond, just get rid of them. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. You don't want to get involved with anyone who's got a complicated relationship. Anyone who's still with their wife or husband, anyone that's still doing blah, blah, blah. Is it possible to be an asexual trans? Absolutely, it's possible to be an asexual trans person. 10% of the asexual population, current statistics show that 10% of the asexual population is trans and 10% of the asexual population is non-binary. And that comes from statistics I got through members of asexuality.org in a private chat on Skype because I'm part of their media speaker team. And yeah, so they were showing us statistics. I think it's government. I don't know if it's no. Where did the statistics come from? I can't remember, but it was it's from a source that they said with the survey they'd done. And yeah, so with the survey they'd done, that's what it came out. 10% are trans, 10% are non-binary in the asexual community. Apparently that's where it's most predominant, non-binary and trans people in any sexual orientation. It's highest in asexuals. It's hard because personally I want to be with a guy who was born a guy, called cisgender. Cisgender is someone who's the gender they were born with. So someone says I'm a cisgender guy, it means they were born a guy and they're still a guy. Do you know what I mean? So could you potentially be a non-binary trans asexual person? Yes, you could potentially be a non-binary trans asexual. So non-binary means you don't identify one way or the other as male or female. And then trans means you oh yeah, even do or promote an asexuality consensus. Maybe it's from that. I think probably you're right, actually, Sam. I think it was from the Avon consensus, because I remember looking at that now. You've mentioned it. Yeah, I think it was the consensus, because it's like the survey they do, isn't it? And they get feedback. I think it was that, because they put it in this Skype group, which they were always referring to Avon on it anyway, or sometimes they refer to government. I don't think government does stuff like that, but I do remember reading that. So I think, yes, you're correct, because other people on the site could see it as well. But yeah, so I agree. I think it was from that, because I remember going through it and I was like, wow. And it had loads of different statistics. And that's where I think I got the fact that there's more guys attracted to guys in London as well. I think that's gone up quite a bit as well. So you're right. I'm glad you're on this thread, Sam. Let's see. Oh, this guy here. This was hilarious. Well, this guy put, "Hi, Sandra. Nice to meet you. I've just read your profile and I really like it." So I clicked through this guy's profile. He is foreign and he does live in the UK, right? Older than I would usually go for. But when I clicked through his profile, he smokes. So I didn't message him back here, but he was in the actual group and he said something to me. And I said, "Oh, thanks very much for your message, but I appreciate you're interested in me, but I can't be with a smoker." And they're like, "Oh, okay," because I noticed you smoked. So that was it on that. So do you know what I mean? I was being polite. Oh, this was so stupid, right? This is one of the stupid or shit things that sexuals say to asexuals. But I have actually had a so-called asexual guy message me pretty much the same message quite a long time ago. I know it's a pretty messed up question, but does it matter if a guy is circumcised? Laugh out loud. I mean, honestly. But I did have a so-called asexual guy who I'm not really 100% sure he was asexual, because, you know, why would an asexual who doesn't want sex, and I clearly didn't want sex, care about where a guy's got a circumcised penis or not? I wouldn't, would I? Do you know what I mean? So that was very weird. But I know the guy a long time ago that said he was asexual. I know he had a lot of kind of like, I mean, I've got friends that have got mental health problems. I've got no problem, or, you know, I'm quite happy to be friends with people who've got mental health problems. But this guy, I think, had some serious sexual abuse issues from his past going on that I'm not sure if he was actually confusing for asexuality at the time. Because obviously, you know, asexuality is a journey of discovery. You know, some people find out they're not really asexual in the end, but he was saying he was asexual. But he was saying stuff to me in private message all about sexual abuse, and he was all about being circumcised, and he was quite kind of like wanting to show me a picture of it. And I'm like, why would I want to see a picture of a circumcised penis when I'm asexual and not interested in sex or a guy's penis? It was weird. And he was on about, I'm really asexual because I've had sexual abuse or something and I can't stand sex. And I'm like, that's not asexual. Just because you've been sexually abused doesn't mean to say and you're not having sex and you don't want anything to do with it, doesn't mean to say you're asexual. Some people who are asexual have sexual abuse, and other people that are asexual haven't had sexual abuse. That's not what makes you asexual. You're asexual because you don't experience any sexual attraction, or you have little to no interest in sexual activity. I mean, obviously there's going to be a few cases where someone might have had such abuse that they are no longer interested in sexual activity. So by the full definition of asexuality, they could have become asexual if they were permanently like that. It's not something that's temporary. Obviously, if someone's been sexually abused and that's what's stopping them having sex, then they should have therapy to work through that. Because, there's a big difference between someone who's had abuse not having sex and someone who's asexual, just doesn't get the need, urge, or want for it, because it's not innately within their being to have that. I have to make that clear. So what is general physical connection for asexuals like? It depends on the individual asexual. So some asexuals don't like hardly any physical connection. Some asexuals are touch adverse. And if an asexual person is touch adverse, they don't want to be touched. They are, some of them are so touch adverse, they don't want any touching. They don't want to touch on the arm, a touch on the shoulder, nothing. Doesn't mean to say they can't be friends or theoretically in a relationship that involves no physical contact whatsoever. But they're known as touch adverse asexuals. I think there's even some sexuals that are touch adverse as well. But yeah, so it depends what it's like. So for that, that person, they don't want to be touched. Other people, they could be touched and get no response whatsoever. They don't get aroused. They don't feel anything. It does absolutely nothing for them. So they're like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, doesn't do anything for them. And other people, they will get aroused through certain physical connections, certain touching. Depends what areas you're touching, what's being touched, how it's being touched. Do you know what I mean? So it varies from person to person. From the people that don't want to be touched, and from people that just don't experience any arousal at all, or physical stuff, to others that experience, like myself, I experience high levels of arousal, but I can get that without even touching a person or a person touching me, just from my mind alone, just from the thought of kissing, for example, without kissing anyone, without even thinking about kissing anyone. Wouldn't that mean someone asexual basically don't want to be touched by the person they love? Sam's asexual. So Sam, I like cuddles, soft kisses, holding hands with a partner, etc. But I generally avoid contact with other people. So I will give a low bye hug to a close friend and shake hands. Yeah. So there you go. Sam's answered your question. So, do you know what I mean? It depends on the individual. So there are a few asexuals that don't want to be touched by the person they love, but the touch adverse asexuals, they're not majority. They're in a minority. From my experience of running 5 asexual groups, they're in the minority. There's only a few asexuals that don't want any touching whatsoever. The ones that are not romantically attracted or sexually, they may want a cuddle, not really into kissing. They might want to hold hands. They might want to share a bed. But I know there was one guy who was on the BBC a long time ago, and he said he doesn't get aroused by cuddling or anything. Even if he does physical stuff, he doesn't experience arousal down below. It just doesn't do any, just doesn't get like that. But, I know I personally, because I talk to a lot of asexual guys, and the guys I talk to, a lot of them get aroused by just talking to me about kissing. And I'm like, oh my God, but it's no good that, because I don't want a guy who's just interested in me for the sake of arousal. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about having sex with them. I'm talking about kissing. All I have to do is talk about kissing, and then they start saying that they're aroused by that and get erections by that, if I'm being very blunt. And I'm like, oh my God. The last person that happened with, I said, it wasn't my intention for you to feel that way or this to happen. It's just I was only talking to the person, but they don't, because I'm so open and outspoken. The guys don't hold back what they tell me. I see that as a bit of a barrier, really. It would be difficult to love someone who loves you back, yet they hate the thought of you cuddling them. But like I said, that is the minority, very minority. So you don't really need to focus on them, do you? I mean, love isn't about physicality, is it? You can love someone that you never touch in your life. Do you know what I mean? So You know what I mean? But most asexuals are into cuddling. Yeah, so Sam loves cuddling with a partner. So yeah. So yeah. I mean, you know, I'm the same as Sam. I'm not exactly the same as Sam because I did recently kiss someone outside of a relationship. But in general, I prefer to kiss someone in a relationship and cuddle with them in a relationship, not outside. But because I'm a hyper romantic who absolutely adores kissing and I'm not likely to be in a relationship anytime soon, I've decided that if I want to kiss a guy in a nightclub who I'm really aesthetically attracted to and romantically attracted to, and he's my type, then I will let myself do that, providing it's safe and consensual by me, obviously by them, but they'll want initiating, you see, you know, and you know, and they don't touch areas that I don't want to be touched, because obviously I have boundaries. Everyone should have boundaries as well. You know, there's going to be certain people in relationships that like doing certain touching in certain places that other people don't, and that's okay. You know, healthy relationships, even heterosexual relationships, should still have boundaries. Do you know what I mean? So it's really important that you establish those ideally before you get into a relationship, but you might want to explore more in the relationship, in which case you should tell the person, look, I want to try this out. I'm not sure if I like it or not. If I don't like it, I won't be doing it again. I just want to let you know. Can I try this out softly or gently with you to see if I like it or not? Do you see what I mean? But yeah, so, you know, because I love passionate tongue kissing, to be quite honest, but only mostly with Indian guys. I can't seem to want to do that with anyone else but younger Indian guys most of the time. However, I did have a British boyfriend this year, briefly, and I really liked snogging them a lot for hours because I'm a hyper snogger, not a hypersexual. I love snogging for hours. So I did kiss them, like snog them for 2 or 3 hours. Time just flew by, and they were British, 23, so they were kind of cute at the time. Not the right person for me though, not asexual. So yeah, so I'm not saying it can never happen with a British guy, but a British guy would have to be in his early 20s because I'm just not attracted to older British guys, and preferably one that didn't really age because I'm not really interested in older guys. I just can't, you know. Anyway, let me get rid of the circumcised thing. Oh, this is another one. Stupid things sexuals say to asexuals when they have said clearly they don't want sex. And he's like, how are you sexy? Really? Do I really want to answer that? No, I don't want to hear from you. Like, I'm doing well, thank you, but I'm not going to answer you. Oh, this one's so funny. He's known as Prince so-and-so and just given me, from Nigeria, and he's just given me a thumbs up. I'm like, what the heck's a thumbs up meant to be? Cheers for that. Delete that. This person goes, hello, Sandra. And they're from they're from Nigeria. And I said, I want a British-born, British resident person. They can't read, obviously. And then this person is from, I don't know what the heck that person's from. They're foreign. But they're from the Faculty de Letters, lives in Stacks. Where the heck is Stacks? Some of these just make me laugh. I'm like, where's Stacks? STAX. It sounds like some kids. Oh, from Gaza City. It sounds like some kids' play toy or something. Stacks. Do you know what I mean? Oh, hi Heather. Nice to see you. What was the other question? Can you not be asexual and look sexy? Yes, you can be very asexual. You can be and look very sexy. I'm an asexual who's very sexy to a lot of people, even though I don't experience any sexual attraction, don't want sex. So yes, I actually did a video on this. Question, can an asexual still be sexy? And the answer is 100% yes, they can. Just because someone's asexual and lacks sexual attraction, doesn't want sex, doesn't mean to say they can't be sexy. So I don't actually mind if I know the person and they're a partner of mine to say you're sexy. I don't mind that. But it's when they want sex with someone outside of the relationship, when I want a monogamous relationship, I'm not happy about it. And when they call everyone else sexy as well. And when they're from abroad and just want a visa, that's when I've got the problem with it. So, you know, some of these guys are quite good looking as well. But, you know what I mean? I'm not going to go with someone abroad. Oh, I had an 18-year-old messaging me as well from a dating site. And he started going, oh, yeah, well, I'm from a foreign country, but I was born in the UK. But I'm in a foreign country at the moment, but I'll finish my studies in like 8 or 10 months. And then I'll come over and buy a house, 5-bedroom house, and come and live near you. I'm like, yeah, right. I said, I don't think an 18-year-old's got that much money to come and do that. And he said, oh, well, that's where you're wrong. it's my dad's money or whatever. My dad like gives me, you know, my dad's got a really does a lot of business, so it's his money. I'm thinking, well, it's not your own anyway, and if your dad's gonna like let you go and do that, I'm not saying 18-year-olds haven't got money, because I know someone who I used to work in retail, and there was a guy who was on Apprentice, and he was only, I think, 18, 19, and he was on Apprentice, or he was friends with someone on the Apprentice. He had a lot of money, and I was showing him the furniture, because I used to sell really expensive furniture, book appointments for really expensive furniture, like the average bedroom was 3,500 upwards. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying they haven't got money, but a lot of these guys that are in foreign countries pretending to be in the UK, and they'll come over there and get, you know, magically get a house or whatever. It's just rubbish. And then he started turning being nasty. I'm like, block. You really have to be careful from people after you British passport. Yes, of course I'm careful. I'm not interested in marriage. I clearly make that clear. So no one from abroad can be with me, because I'm not interested in marriage, and I don't want to live with a guy ever. So they're not going to get what they want out of me from visa. And there's plenty of them in here looking for visas, but I'm not interested. This person, oh right, I haven't read this one. Hi Sandra, I'm 32. I'm living in London West, looking for real women who like sex meeting. Shit, stupid things sexuals say to asexuals who have clearly made it 3 times in their profile or more that they don't want sex. Why does someone say to someone who clearly says they don't want sex, I'm looking for a real woman who likes a sex meeting? I don't think so. Let's get rid of them and let's block them. Oh, it's just disgusting. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think I've just deleted them anyway, so hopefully. And this person's like, hi love, I'm not your love, I don't know you, bye. This person's like, hi, they're in another country, I think. I have no idea. I mean, they look a bit Indian, actually. Or they might be Pakistan. Where are they from? Oh, they're from Toronto. Oh, actually, he's quite nice, but he's a bit old. But, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, and he's got a picture of a friend with this woman who's just got a rubber ring in front of her vagina. Don't think I'll be friends with him. Thanks very much. Ah, dearie me. These people make me laugh. I have to say, you don't know whether to laugh or cry at these stupid things that they say or do. Do you know what I mean? Or who they friend. What dating apps do you use? Dating apps never usually contain asexual. I only use an asexual dating app, which is specifically designed for asexuals, although there ends up being quite a lot of sexuals on there. So I haven't got any other apps for dating. And usually I don't go in sexual groups. A comedy drama in dating app. Yes, Heather. Well, this is like a comedy drama, just being in this UK singles group on Facebook, which isn't for asexuals. Oh, right. This guy has messaged me a couple of times. And he seems one of the more genuine guys. Because he's more down to earth, but he's too old for me. Because he actually seems quite a nice person. But I did message him and say I'm looking for a younger guy. But hi, Sandra. Hope you don't mind me messaging you. Saw you on singles page. I am so-and-so from so-and-so. 38. Okay, not 20s. I like walk-in pubs, restaurants, etc. Looking for a genuine person for friendship, maybe more. Who knows? I mean, he's not attractive to me. He's too old for me. But, you know, when I look for his profile, he's just drinking all the time. You know, like in pubs, it's not really my scene. So, but I don't think he's a bad person. But I did message him saying I'm looking for someone younger. So I think that was about the nicest message I've had in this. And this, like, hi dear. And this is a guy who's like a million miles away. That just looks like he's, I don't know, probably after a visa. Oh yeah, he's got lots of sexual poses like, hey, I'm so hot. Oh, dearie me. Makes me laugh. And they didn't put hardly any pictures apart from them in bed with not much on. Yes, right, okay. You might be good looking, but yeah, I don't think so, mate. And we'll see where this person's from. I don't even know where the Ada Technical Institute is, ATI. Have no idea, it doesn't really say. If you know where it is, let me know. Anyway, I'm not interested in someone from abroad. So as much as I think they're good looking, some of them, I'm not interested. So it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like there are some asexuals that have sexy poses as well, though. You could write a funny book about dating apps. Well, yeah, if I was on them, Heather. These are dating groups on Facebook. They're not actually dating apps, but I know what you mean. But I'm writing better books than that. Like, obviously, at the moment, my latest book I'm writing is Asexual Guide to Sex, which, to be honest, will be the best book on sex ever written. Have you ever had sex, Sandra? Well, if you had looked at this channel and watched it, you would know the answer to that. So I suggest you go back through the videos and have a look. Or you could get my book. There we go. Go and have a look for my book. Asexual Perspectives. I tell you my very own personal story here. 47 asexual stories, love, life and sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. This is my book. It's out on Amazon. So go and read the book. There you go. You've got everything in the book, and you can have. How much is my book? Depends what country you're in. As you know, I mean, this is a huge book, obviously. So in the UK, I think it's currently retailing at £18.95 if you buy it direct from Amazon. But some book companies are selling it for 60 quid. But yeah, I think it's £18.95 on Amazon in the UK. But obviously, if you're in the USA, it'll be the different price. But in ebook, I think it's around about £5, something like that at the moment. So, you know, it's good. It's very valuable. Obviously, it took me, I've interviewed 46 asexuals around the globe for this book. It's not just me, and it tells my personal story. And so you're getting loads and loads. Oh, okay, might be interesting to read. It'll be really interesting to read. It's got everything you need to know in this book about arousal, attraction, BDSM, difference between sexual attraction, difference between sexual desire, difference between arousal, all those type of things. Every question you might think about asking if you're just discovering about asexuality, go and get it. It's definitely worth a read, definitely worth putting on your bookshelf. It's really, really good. And each story's got its own different chapter. It's a really, really good book. I know I wrote it, but it took me a year and I interviewed 46 other asexuals. So it's not just me. It's like a lot of other people's put time and energy and effort. And my second book I'm currently working on is actually called Asexual Guide to Sex, which has got real life asexual sex stories, sex advice, sex help and sex guidance. So literally, yeah, Sam highly recommends, they highly recommend this book because Sam has got the book. It is a very good book. I have had people private message me about this book saying it has literally changed their life because they finally feel they can be who they are. They don't have to worry about it anymore. Whereas before they read this book, they're all very, you know, because obviously being asexual is very different to the norm and the rest of the world, really, and population. So it can be very difficult when you're just finding out if you're not very confident. I'm like really confident. So, but some people aren't like me. Do you know what I mean? And when I found out I was asexual, I wasn't as confident as I am now, because I was just finding out about it. Do you know what I mean? So I know there's this one guy who messaged me recently. He's told me it's changed his life. He said before that, you know, he felt, he was just like, since he's read it, he feels he can truly be himself. And he's just messaged me that. And there's another guy in another country, and he has messaged me recently saying that it's changed his life as well. That, you know, he's absolutely loving every bit of the book, and he doesn't actually know if he's asexual. He's questioning whether he's asexual, so he doesn't know, but he loves the book anyway because he's finding a lot about asexuality, and he just feels he can be himself because there's other things that are different about him, which I won't go into because it's very personal, which he's messaged me about to do. You know, I'm one of the few people in the world that knows things about him, which I will not reveal on my channel, obviously, because I keep people's things confidential. And so, but it's helped them a lot. Just be themselves. It's a great to show the whole asexual spectrum from each person's personal views and experiences. It is really true. It is very true, Sam. The book does explain asexuality from the people's perspective. It doesn't give you textbook definitions. So you could go on Google, you could Google all different asexual terms, and it'll give you all these textbook definitions. And you're like, but how does, you know, when you're in this book, you're like, this shows you how this works in real life with real relationships in practice. So there's so many textbooks out there and things are talking about asexuality that you can read up on, but there's nothing that beats hearing from real life asexuals and hearing the answers to all the questions you could possibly think about asking when you're initially finding out if you're asexual or not. In countries of poor education, I can manage there being many true asexuals who are not aware of their identity. There are there are people in other countries, yes, that message me that know they're asexual actually. But there are a lot of them that say they fear for their lives because it's frowned upon certain sexualities in their country, and they think asexuality will be frowned upon too, and they could be physically hurt by it. So they won't be out about their asexuality, which means I agree with you in the sense that, you know, less people know about it because there's less awareness in other countries, because most people keep it even more quiet than in the USA and UK, for example. There's quite a lot of people are out in the US and UK about it, but countries that are not so accommodating, for example, countries that don't accommodate gays, for example, those type of countries are the ones that asexuals get frightened of coming out in. And there's a really interesting story in my Asexual Guide to Sex book, which is currently what I'm working on. Well, I had to have a brief break because I've not been very well with a respiratory infection. I'm catching up on my asexual meetup mastery course, which is a course I'm doing that someone wants to buy, and I've got to get that finished. And they'll be getting back to my Asexual Guide to Sex book. Actually, I wrote some Asexual Guide to Sex book today. I spent 3 hours writing. 2 of those hours at least was on my part of the book that goes with someone's story. And so actually it's one of the most insightful, useful, helpful books about sex ever written on planet Earth. I'm 100% sure of that, even though I'm asexual, because everyone in the book is talking about their own personal experiences, and they're answering every possible question you could wish you knew before you even made a decision to have sex or not, if you're an asexual that's had sex, or if you're deciding still now as you read that. But one of the people in the book, they don't think it's safe to come out in their country about being asexual. And their answers are very different to some of the other people's. And, you know, I like that. It's different. I imagine asexuals being regarded as closeted gays and potentially having their lives in danger, as many countries still regard homosexuality as illegal. Yeah, I think that's a fair comment to say. I do think they fear a lot of the time that, you know, that if gays are frowned upon or ridiculed or even worse, tortured or hurt, you know, that their life's in danger by not wanting sex, because it's still something different, isn't it? It's still a minority sexuality. And some people, you know, like when I say I'm asexual, some people are like, oh, you know, do you fancy women then? It's like, no, I've never fancied a woman in my life before. I'm not attracted to them, but I attract to guys only, but I don't want sex with them. They may be potentially misjudged and not believed. Yeah, I mean, asexuals all over the world are misjudged and not believed to, you know, sometimes, but it doesn't matter what other people think. It's you that knows what you are and who you are. And I've been on this channel now since 2015. I've been here for like 4 years, going to my 5th year next year. So I've been around for a long time in the asexual scene. So people always know by coming to my channel that they're, you know, they're asexual, they're welcoming. And obviously I get people who are not asexual who are following this channel still. I get people who are partners of asexuals that are not asexual themselves that comment sometimes on this channel. There's someone recently called Ace who's not asexual, that's their name. You click through their profile and they love sex. They got women with no clothes on in their videos. So be warned about that person, that they're not asexual just because they use the word ace. That's their actual first name. You know, I mean, obviously respect to anyone who's sexual. I don't, you know, if they like sex, fine and that, but they're on a channel where their ace is a nickname for asexual. So they might be getting people across their channel to click through their name when they're not asexual. They're the opposite. They actually put in their lyrics of their song that they can't, basically as soon as they meet a woman, they want to have sex with them and blowjobs or whatever. I think they talk about as well. So just be careful. I you know, that they are being nice and polite at the moment. They're saying stuff about my video, but I think it's to get click-throughs, to be honest. Some people do, but I mean, they've got like a lot of views because they do music, but it's sexual music based on sex. Do you know what I mean? So difference when you could be potentially put to death for being gay, yet you can be asexual and straight, right? Difference when you could be potentially put to death for being gay, yet you can be asexual and straight, right? I don't know the answer to that. Do you know what I mean? Only the person knows who they are. Do you know what I mean? So I can't really answer that, can I? Because I don't know what the person is. You know, anyone could be, you know, anyone who's a different sexuality to heterosexual in a country that views sexual minorities as a bad thing or not right could potentially be harmed. Do you know what I'm saying? Regardless of who they're attracted to, just their sexual orientation, it could be frowned upon or whatever. But, you know, it's the luck of the draw if you are at the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, obviously there are countries that are fine about it, where they're not going to kill you or hurt you just because you're asexual. Individuals might be nasty to you. And I think it's, you know, I think if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, that can be true of any person at all, at any time and space, can't it? They're not always nice people, but I believe there are a lot of good people in the world. There are people who are sexual. I've got one of my best female friends. She's not asexual. She's the opposite. But she's my best female friend. She knows I'm asexual. I talk about it all the time. Her friends all know I'm asexual when I'm with her and her friends. And she might not completely understand it 100%, but she accepts it. My parents accept it. They're not asexual. There's lots of people. I think we need to focus on positive things, not just all this kind of negativity about, oh, people don't like, you know, believe in it or agree with it or whatever. There'll always be people that don't agree or believe in anything. Do you know what I mean? And some people might just be horrible, but there are a lot of kind people. We need to focus on the kind people in the world as well. There are a lot of sexuals that are fine. I've got a lot of entrepreneur friends. And entrepreneur friends, because they're conscious and they're open-minded and they're adult, they don't behave like children and say stupid things to asexuals. I've had one person who I was connected to who was not good about it, and I just deleted them from my friends list. All the other people have been absolutely fine. I'm known as the asexual entrepreneur, you know. I've got Asexualist Academy, which is the world's first online training centre and school for asexuals and asexuality. It's a real thing. Loads of asexual merchandise is all over the internet. There wouldn't be a need for asexual merchandise, not just my merchandise, but loads of other companies do it, if asexuals weren't a real thing and didn't exist. Do you know what I mean? If there's not a market for something, then no, you could argue something doesn't exist. If there's a market and they're selling stuff to a market, then obviously there's people out there that identify that way. It is what it is. It's fact. Do you see what I mean? It's supportive evidence. Do you know what I mean? You can't sell something to someone if they don't exist. So by the mere fact that there's loads of other companies selling merchandise for asexuals and people buying it because they keep selling it, then obviously there's a lot of asexuals in the world. And I'm part of the biggest online community of asexuals anyway, like loads of people are. There's thousands of us around the globe. So, and there are people, like I said, all my entrepreneur friends that are currently in my list, they're all fine about me being asexual. I talk about it. I even go on their posts sometimes in comments and say about it. Several people I have met, though not non-ace meetups, have been very polite, and even if they didn't understand, still respected my identity as asexual. That's really good. It's absolute madness. Why would it bother people by your choice of not wanting to have sex with anyone? Exactly, but it does, because some of the comments in the sexual groups do. You know what I mean? You know, but exactly, it's madness. This is why I'm talking about why stupid things sexuals say to asexuals. But it's also madness. Exactly, I totally agree with you. So where was I in these? Oh, right, yeah, this person goes, hello, pretty. It's like, yes, I am pretty, but you're in a foreign country anyway. I told you I don't want someone from a foreign country. And also, if someone's calling you pretty straight away, they're not really interested in your brains and talking to you and open up a conversation, are they? Oh, this guy was interesting. I think he lives in the UK. Yeah, he's got a picture of Big Ben. But do you know what's really, really hilarious about this? Is the fact that this person, I mean, obviously they don't, you know, obviously they could be trans possibly, but they don't look like trans. They look like a guy, and it's like updated her profile picture, and there's another picture of a guy on there, which is meant to be them as far as I know, and pretty much they're not trans. So God bless baby. So I don't, but you know what I mean? When a Facebook profile, yeah, this guy's got loads of pictures of him on there. Doesn't look like a. So, you know, it's, and that one's saying, dear brother. So you know that when someone's saying updated her profile picture and it's a him, it's dodgy if they haven't got many pictures on there and it's from a sexual person. Yeah. I'm not going to respond to that because obviously I can't tell who the heck you are, apart from that you're not who you say you are. So you got to be very careful of stuff like that. Do you think that goes by their own insecurities? Yeah, I do. Not necessarily insecurities as much as uncomfortability. I think they're uncomfortable with what they don't understand or they don't know that's different to them and they can't deal with it. It kind of fries their brain. You know, if you've ever seen the film, oh, thanks for the thumbs up, appreciate that. You know, if you've ever seen the film Short Circuit, I don't know if you've ever seen that film. It's a really old film about robots, and it's kind of like when the robot gets short-circuited. I kind of think that's what it's like for some heterosexuals who've never, ever heard of anyone not liking sex before and never, ever been open-minded. They're just so close-minded that they can't possibly believe it's true. Do you know what I mean? And it's a bit like they've short-circuited their brain. It's like, oh my God, meltdown, 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 mayday, mayday, I can't stand it. Oh my God, no, someone who doesn't like sex. Oh, do you know what I mean? It's almost like it's a robot that's completely short-circuited themselves and they're about to collapse unless they can prove by telling me I'm fake or by saying horrible stuff that I'm not asexual. Heather, we have to be mature about asexuality and other people for not being the same. Some aren't mature about the situation. I totally agree, Heather. Like my entrepreneur friends, they know I talk about asexuality. They know that's what I do. And one of my entrepreneur friends, one of their businesses is to do with talking about having sex and how to have it and how to have good sex. And so their business is the opposite of mine, but we still respect each other. I know they're a speaker as well. I used to know them first and foremost for being a speaker. I don't stop being friends with the guy just because part of one of his businesses, he's got, speaking his main business, but just because he goes and sometimes speaks on stage in London, he speaks about sex and how to have, is it tantra sex and how to have different types of sex. Just because he does that, I don't stop being his friend because I respect the fact the guy likes sex with his partner. He likes talking about sex, and so do a load of other people. And like I'm going to be writing a book. It is aimed predominantly at asexuals, Asexual Guide to Sex, but obviously some sexuals will learn a lot from it. And I'm not opposed to helping sexuals because like I've got experience I can help sexuals with. I've no problem talking about sex. I just don't want to be involved in that again myself personally. Oh, Heather, Johnny Five. Oh, yeah, Johnny Five is alive. Used to love that saying from Short Circuit. I think it's because the world, especially the West, is so sexualized. It is hard for some people to understand that not everyone wants sex. Yes, Johnny Five was an awesome robot. Thumbs up, Sam. Right, yeah. When I went to Disneyland Paris, there was a Johnny Five. Oh, my. I want to take him home. Like, I posted a picture on Facebook saying, this one's so cute. I want to take him home with me. Seriously, the robot was so cute. I've got a fascination with robots. You seem like a fair person towards your beliefs. Reminds me of the difference between moderate vegans and radical vegans that cause absolute carnage to display their beliefs. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy to help sexuals. I can help sexuals with their sex life if they want. I can teach them how to have good sex because I know the difference between good and bad sex because I've had experience of that. But you know what I mean? But I don't want sex myself. But I'm quite happy to help them out with their sex life because I've got, I've got a lot of I look at it in a different way because I look at it more educational way, more methodical way than they will. And do you know what I mean? So if people want my help, whatever, as long as they're not being disgusting. I'm not going to help a guy who's going around perving on me, telling me disgusting stuff and asking. Like I had someone on my asexualized page because people think that asexual means I'm a sexual person and want sex all the time. So when someone comes, I got my Facebook page, a sexualized Facebook page. A guy came on there the other day and private message messaging the page going, I want to see videos. And I was like, well, I'm not sure what videos you want to see, because this is a page about asexuality, which is a sexual orientation that's a lack of sexual attraction. So in the main, we don't get the need, urge, or want for partner's sexual intercourse. So I'm not quite sure what videos you're talking about, but I do have a channel that talks about asexuality, which is a lack of sexual attraction. And here's the link. Clearly, I knew that he was on about videos, sex videos. That's what he thought he was talking. That it was that he wanted to have a look at. And I'm not interested. There's no sex videos on my page. Me too. I love Johnny Five Robot. So, and thank you for saying I seem like a fair person. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy. I'd have no problem with sexual guys finding me sexy, as long as they don't want me to partake in it. But what I don't like is when guys are blatantly ignorant, and I'm saying in a dating group that I specifically 3 times in one post said I don't want sex. I think it was nearly 4 actually. And then I'm getting people messaging me saying, you arouse me, I want a sex person, I want to marry you, when I said I don't want marriage. Do you know what I mean? It's just ignorance, absolute ignorance. And I don't appreciate someone who's ignorant. Oh man. So right, where is I think we're nearly done. I think we've got a few more messages for me to go now. Oh dear me. There've been loads. Can you see how many people? I mean, the good thing obviously about sexuals is they are very proactive and they do message. I will say that for sexual people, because I do find with asexuals they're not very proactive at dating or messaging or taking an interest. Do you know what I mean? And I have to give sexuals their credit. I mean, obviously it's because they're sexually attracted and they want sex, the majority of them. So it's not particularly because they want to explore my brain, but at least they're proactive, which you've got to give them credit for that. Do you know what I mean? Like this guy's in the Philippines, which I'm not I'm not looking for someone in the Philippines. This person's using my first name. Oh, a smiley face. Hello, Sandra, which is really nice, but this person lives in Egypt. And it's like, no, I'm not going to start being friends or romantic with someone. And then this person's put, hi, I like romance. You okay? And this person does actually live in the UK. But they are advertising their business on their page. And then they're talking about, need a partner to go to Imperial. Please contact if anyone is interested. So basically, they are just advertising on their Facebook page that they're looking for someone to go to the pub with a partner. And their name is Tom, yet send her a friend request. And the people they've got on their friends list, particularly one, is a woman that's got her boobs practically with no nothing covering them up. So that's someone I'm not going to be friends with at all, and I'm not interested in. Thanks very much. These people are so funny. Do you know what I mean? What else have we got? I think we're nearly there. Oh, this person's hilarious, right? They got a picture of Tom Cruise on their profile. They live in France and they're not even speaking English. But basically, they're saying, I speak a little bit of French. They're saying, I cherche une relation serious pour marriage. So obviously, they're saying, I want a relationship that's serious for marriage. I know pour marriage means pour meaning for marriage. I know that. I was like, well, I've already said I don't want marriage. And I'm not interested in giving you a visa, mate. And so this one lives in Germany and he's Indian. Oh my God, I have soft spots for Indian guys. Oh no, he says Pakistan, from Pakistan. He looks Indian though. He looks really Indian. Shame. He's really nice looking. Really nice. But he might be older than he looks, because there's another picture where he looks older in that one. Oh yeah, you look much older in that one. He's very good looking. You can see how my face is always different when they look Indian. But he isn't Indian. He's from Pakistan. I like Pakistan looking guys as well, if I'm honest. I like their look. And he hasn't got all female people on his profile. He's got a mixture, which is good. Yeah, he's got a lot of guys actually on his profile. So actually he's got a much more decent profile. Oh, it's such a shame he doesn't live in the UK, but he's not asexual anyway. He's quite nice looking. Lovely clothes. I better stop talking about this guy. If you are in an asexual relationship, what would constitute as cheating? Good question. So, what would constitute cheating if you're in an asexual relationship? First of all, my question to you would be, when you're talking about an asexual relationship, are you talking about an asexual being in a relationship with another asexual? Or are you talking about asexual being in an asexual type of relationship with a sexual? So obviously an asexual could be in an asexual relationship with an asexual. So two asexuals together. Or an asexual could be in a relationship with a sexual, but having an asexual relationship as in sex. Asexual and asexual. Oh, right, okay. So asexual, if I was in a relationship with an asexual guy and he kissed another girl, that would be cheating. And if he was going over to her house and he was cuddling her, he would be cheating. That to me is cheating. However, asexuals all have different rules in their own relationships. So some asexuals, yeah, duh. Some asexuals, they don't have a problem with cuddling their friends. So although I just said what I said, that's cheating in my opinion. Not every single asexual is like me. So some asexuals, they cuddle their friends. Some asexuals will share a bed with their friends. And they think it's nothing wrong in that. Some asexuals cuddle their friends. They think it's not cheating. So even if they're in a relationship, they would still cuddle their other friends. So you have to understand that just because I think that's cheating doesn't mean to say some other asexuals do. So I have to make it perfectly clear when I am talking about a potential relationship with an asexual person. I have to decide what their boundaries are, what they like, what they don't like, what they agree with, what they don't. My best friend that's in this thread at the moment, Sam, they're attracted to guys, I'm attracted to guys, but they have the same boundaries as me in a relationship. And outside a relationship, they know they won't cuddle someone who they're not in a relationship with, or unless they're dating, they might, like I would if I'm dating. I would agree with Sandra. I would not accept a partner of mine to kiss or cuddle with someone else or sharing a bed. But again, just my opinion. Yeah. So me and Sam have the same boundaries. So if someone did that to us, they'd be cheating on us. So basically, it's terms and conditions are laid out at the start of a relationship. They should be. For a successful, healthy, happy relationship, any relationship, including if this is with sexual as well, you should always talk about the needs, likes, wants, dislikes early on. This because I give a lot of relationship and dating advice out on this channel. I'm very experienced in these matters. I've learned a lot of stuff myself as well. And so any successful relationship, first of all, you should be talking in the beginning, saying what are you interested in? Are you interested in marriage? Are you interested in kids? All those deal breakers, you know, all the things, the big things. Because I don't want marriage, I don't want kids, I don't want to live with someone. And I don't need sex. I don't want sex. Do you know what I'm saying? So I definitely 100% will never have kids in my life. I've always known that since 15. So do you know what I mean? It's no good if some asexuals will have sex for kids. Some asexuals are on the more sexual end of the spectrum. Some asexuals will have sex. Not everyone's like me, doesn't want it and don't have to have it and never having it go in their life and not interested. So just because sexual behavior is not the same as sexual attraction, which we lack sexual attraction. But, you know, I have some sexual behavior when I kiss. It's very sexual in behavior, but I don't want sex and I don't need the guy to take his clothes off. I'm quite happy for him to keep them on unless he wants to show me his chest. That's as far as it goes. I'm not interested below the waist. He can keep that for himself. You know, so any good relationship, you should be, you know, terms and conditions are basically like the boundaries. You should be saying what you like and don't like, and you should be agreeing. You know, I don't want to be in a relationship with an asexual that thinks it's all right to go around cuddling other people. Not unless we've discussed that and I agree with that. Would that be right? That'd be cheating. And I don't want a guy like that. Do you know what I mean? Does it not repulse some asexuals the act of sex in order to have kids? I think possibly it does, but I mean, to be honest, most of asexuals that are sex repulsed asexuals, as in hate it, most of them would adopt children, or they would have artificial insemination, or find a surrogate or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So not the really repulsed sex repulsed asexuals. The majority of the time they wouldn't have sex, but there might be a few where the pain of having sex for the sake of children is offset by the gain of having the kids, if you know what I mean. I always say when the pain is less than the gain, someone will do something. When the pain is higher than the gain, they won't. So if they're so sex repulsed they can't even bring themselves to like do that physically, it just hurts them, or they don't like it, it upsets them, they won't, you know, they'll find other ways of having kids which are not intercourse. Do you know what I mean? Some might use a turkey baster and stuff like that, which is what obviously some lesbians do, isn't it? I saw a documentary once on that. It's not really I don't like watching stuff like that, but I did it for informative reasons, because I'm like, I kind of need to know this stuff sometimes, because obviously I'm writing books and things. So, you know what I mean? So there's no actual, you know, like stuff going on. It was hard for me to watch that because I'm pregnancy repulsed and all that type of thing. So, but yeah, I did watch it. It was hard. I managed to get through the whole documentary. I was just like looking away at bits of it. I'm thinking, oh, just think, Sandra, you're educating yourself, even if you don't like exactly what's going on. So yeah. So I mean, I know a person who had sex with his wife just to have kids, and that's it. They never had sex ever again. They told me that in private message. So, but yeah, I think the highly sex repulsed asexuals tend to not do that, and do other things. If that answers your question, I hope it does. Oh, I'm going back where I'm going to Facebook again. Let's see. Oh, it's so sad about this guy because he's very good looking actually, but he doesn't live in my country. Oh, he studied at the University of Punjab though. That's India, isn't it? Shame. He lives in Germany as well. Ah, never mind. He's actually my type of look. I'm like, wow, someone shall I actually respond to him? But he lives in another country. I don't want someone from another country. Do you know what I mean? It's like, shame. He's really my type. Shame. He's got to have something rubbish on his Facebook profile, surely. But no, actually, a lot of these people are guys. Oh, he looks like he's into romance as well. Oh, why is there a guy I actually like the look of on here? That's annoying. He's really quite cute. But yeah, it's blokes who like him. I noticed for foreign guys, they have guys that really like their profile. So, he shared something where women are dressed with bunny ears, but it does look a bit more like are you still in Germany? Weird. But yeah, actually he looks quite decent compared to the rest. But then he looks really older in other pictures, and it doesn't look like him. It looks like a different person, so I don't quite get that. Don't quite understand that. I think it must be his friend that he's messaging. Deutschland. Italian. Yeah, they're nearly all blokes on here. That's quite good. I quite like that. What about insemination? I think that's what it's called. Oh yes, artificial. I think I mentioned artificial insemination. Didn't I? Didn't I mention artificial insemination? I think I mentioned that, but yeah. So yeah, this guy, oh, it's a shame. He looks really good looking, actually. Mind you, he looks different. It looks like there's two different guys on there. I think it is the same person, but it looks a bit like different. One's wearing glasses and one's... Oh, I think he must be sharing pictures of his friends. Don't know. Weird. It's a shame because he's really good looking. It's really my type. He sent me a friend's request. Oh no, he didn't send me a friend's request. He just sent me a private message. He sent me a private message saying hi, I think. Oh, how are you? Are you? Like I was. Oh, and this person's like, dear, hi, dear. I think they were they're in another country. They're not bad looking as well, actually. But they got a picture of a kid on their profile. So to me, when they got a picture of the kid in their profile, it's like, is that their kid or their brother or what? But it's in a bedroom. If there's a kid in a bedroom, I would have thought it's possibly his kid. I'm not interested in that, because if a person's got kids, then they're not for me. But yeah, this is the only guy that I actually like the look of. But he's in Germany. Shall I message him just to say hi? How are you? How do you think I am? Great. I think that's about done all the filtered messages. Yay. I spoke about one earlier. Yeah, I think that's done all the messages. Like there's been about 40. So I said hi to one person. Oh yeah, there's this other guy. I haven't replied to him. He's older and he sent me a message and I blocked him. Oh yeah, I blocked him for some reason because he must have been talking sexual stuff. But yes. Oh, remember that guy I told you about? All right, Sam. Yeah, I'm watching a Smurf movie that's called A Christmas Carol. Oh yeah, that's really funny. I think I've seen that Smurf movie. Oh, I think I've seen, or did I see clips of it before? But yeah, I don't know if you remember, like on this channel, before I wrap up, there was this guy, and I told you that I occasionally sell things like personal items online just to get a bit of extra cash. And basically this guy said to me that it's a I spoke about it on a recent video. This guy was interested by his perfume, so he was going to come over and get it from me, but then he cancelled at the last minute. And so he lived in the UK in my city, foreign guy, and then he cancelled. And then well, he didn't cancel, he just didn't turn up. So for an hour and a half later from the time he was meant to show up, to collect the item, to pay for it, I said to him, I messaged him to say, you must have changed your mind. And then he phoned me up, and to cut a long story short, because you probably remember the video if you watch this channel often, so to cut a long story short, he started chatting to me on the phone because I gave him my phone number to do with the collection. And he started chatting to me, making up these reasons like, oh, his family's had he's had a family crisis, got to go back there to sign some paperwork. So I accepted that. He goes, I'll give you my word, I'll be there the next day. And then he asked me out basically on a date, saying, oh, when I get back from my country, would you like to go out for a coffee with me? And I said, well, yeah, I don't mind having a friend. I said to him, just meeting up as friends. I said that twice to him, just as friends, right? And then he sent me 2 photographs of him later. And one of them was him on the beach, just in good, like average clothes. He didn't look bad looking. He looked like early 30s, which is a bit old for me. But it was okay. And then he sent me this other picture, which was like him like this, leaning back against the door, dressed in shirt and trousers, going, well, this is how I'll look when I come and get the perfume. And I was like, it doesn't matter what clothes you're wearing, just to come and get a perfume. Do you know what I mean? And so basically he didn't turn up. So he was just looking. And what he said while I was chatting to him, he started saying, I'm going away to my country. I said, oh, I hate flying on a plane. He's like, oh, why? Why don't you like flying on a plane? He goes, oh, well, you're no good for me then, because I need someone who likes traveling like me, because I love traveling. I said, you're coming to collect a perfume. You're not, I'm not, you're not asking me to go around the world traveling with you. Do you know what I mean? And so I spoke to my mum, and she said, I think the guy's just looking for a woman to go traveling with him. In other words, a relationship, will go to his own country and go and live with them in his country. Do you know what I mean? He's lived in this country apparently for 10 years. So yeah, it's like rubbish things sexual say to asexual. But he didn't know I was asexual, to be fair to him. But I mean, so he had no interest in buying the item, really. It was just because he was interested in me. And sometimes I get that. I get guys that message me about things that clearly have no intention of buying an item. I had it a long time ago. There was this guy, and he messaged me about an item, and then he kept saying, well, I want to come over tomorrow. I'll only be there 5 minutes. And it was like he was asking me to come over and have sex, and it was only going to take 5 minutes. And he was married. He just had a baby last year with his wife. It was all over his profile. And, you know, he didn't say, I want to come over for sex, but why would he start talking when he's coming to collect an item saying, oh, I'll come specifically in the morning. I'll only be there for 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It'll only take 5 minutes. I was thinking, yeah, pretty much you're talking about coming to my place for sex. One, I'm not selling sex, mate. And two, I'm not interested in you that way. Three, I'm trying to sell an item. It's a business transaction, not a personal transaction. Four, you've got a wife. Five, you've had a baby with her. What the hell are you doing creeping around your wife's back wanting sex with other women? It's just like absolutely disgusting. Do you know what I mean? He seems a bit rapey. Which one? Which one? Do you know what I mean? The one that said he'll be over for 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Is that the one you're talking about? I mean, honestly, I don't have sex, but if I did, if a guy just thinks something's going to last 5 minutes, they just like deluded. Like, that's why I'm actually writing a book for Asexuals as well, which I started a long time ago, explaining how to have good sex, because quite frankly, a lot of them are pretty clueless. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, so I've got good experience of good and bad sex, and I tell you, you know, guys that just stick it in guys are absolutely ridiculous. They don't understand how to have proper sex. They're just like, you know, even the taxi drivers. So when I had this snog with this Indian guy in the club this Tuesday, which was like a dream come true for me, because I've always wanted to kiss an Indian guy because I want a relationship with an Indian guy, but I've never actually kissed one before. And he couldn't stop kissing me, honestly, just couldn't even stop. I thought, God, you like kissing even more than I do. It was like, couldn't basically hardly not kiss. He was kissing me like all the time and wanted to kiss me. It's really good. But, you know, when I was going home in the taxi by myself, I said to the guy in the taxi, he goes, oh, I said, oh, how's your night been? He goes, oh, it's great. How's your night been? I said, oh, yeah, I had a really good night, did some dancing. I met a guy who was really, really nice. I think I might have said I did some kissing. He goes, oh, yeah, it's all good, isn't it? I said, yeah, but I don't like sex. And he goes, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with sex. It only lasts like 2 minutes. It's a quick in and out. And I'm like, well, no, I really don't like sex. I'm asexual in sexual orientation. I doubt you've ever heard of it before, but, you know, I'm not interested in sex. And he still kept going on about sex. Like, it's fine to have sex, you know, it only takes 2 minutes. So I was thinking, his poor wife, if he's married. Do you know what I mean? If that, you know, like, it's not worth having sex for 2 minutes if you're going to have it. At least if you're going to have it, please, do something more than a quick in and out, because it doesn't stimulate a woman anyway. And she's just like, do you know what I mean? It's just boring as anything, especially if you're asexual. I mean, seriously, you know, asexuals aren't really either. Asexuals that do have sex most of the time, if they're prepared to have it or want to have it or happy to have it, most of the time, the majority of the time, it's to please their partner. The majority, I'm not saying all, some asexuals like the act of sex in and of itself. I just like kissing in and of itself. I can kiss for 2 to 3 hours quite happily, and the time just flies by. I think me and this guy in the club were kissing for over an hour. But it was wonderful because he wasn't looking at any other women. He wasn't even interested in anyone. He put his drinks down, so he wasn't actually drinking the drinks that he came in to drink. And he, you know, he's like literally just wanted to kiss me all the time. It was wonderful. I don't think he was an experienced kisser either, because when he first started kissing me, you know, when you see these films, I don't know if you've ever seen Jumanji, the newer version of Jumanji. I've got it on. Actually, I haven't done a movie review about that, and I watched it again recently because the second one's coming out soon at the cinema, I think, or I don't know if it's soon, but it's coming out. And women have their part in giving good sex too. It's teamwork. Yeah, but when I'm saying about sex, I'm talking about all the making love, the touching, the caressing, the foreplay. Do you know what I mean? That's what women really want, not the actual intercourse, because most of the time women don't climax, orgasm, or whatever you call it through intercourse. So the ex that I had was very good at sex, and one that was good at sex compared to all the rest that wasn't. He put my needs before his. It's great. I've been with some who just lay there. Oh, I definitely didn't lay there. I don't lay, you know, when I'm with a guy who I like to go on top kissing, but I don't, you know, I don't want sex, but I like to go with my clothes on, like to go on top of a guy and snog him and kiss his chest and neck and ears and all that type of thing. But not I'm not interested in the genitals. But, you know, but actually my ex was really good. Like, he did more stuff that gave me pleasure in other ways, but not the sex. I mean, obviously he got his sex. I wasn't interested in sex really. So he got something out of it, but he was very good at, like, he gave me more physical pleasure in other ways than I did to him. So yeah, he was really good like that, even though he wasn't good in lots of other ways. He wasn't a good guy in lots of other ways. He was good at that. So, But it depends if some women like, you know, like laying there or not, doesn't it? And what you're saying, you know, like, are you telling a woman, I like it when you kiss me here, or I like it when you touch me there? Women are not mind readers like men are not mind readers, you know. If I if I like the way a guy kisses me, I'll say I like you kissing me. I said this to the guy in the club because, like, obviously he said that I could touch his chest and touch his back, right? And then he wanted to do that to me, and I'm like, no. And he didn't understand that. He was laughing because he didn't actually know I was asexual, because I didn't mention that, because I was only kissing him. I wasn't intending to go and have sex with him. And I messaged him, you know, like, if you watch his channel, you notice I text him afterwards to tell him the next day that I don't like sex. And if you want to get to know me as a person, basically contact me. If not, have a nice time. But yeah, so you got to explain to women, you know, what you like. But to be honest, the way a man, if you're sexual, gets good sex, if a woman's sexual and likes that, is a guy gives more than a woman. Do some asexuals like having their sexual organs pleasured then without looking at it or getting involved on their partner? Right, okay. So again, every individual's different, but some asexuals will like some touching of their genitals without, like, doing anything back to the guy, and vice versa. So people in general, right, not just asexuals, so there's some people in life, but specifically if you're talking about asexuals, there's some asexuals that like touching their partner's genitals, but they don't want to receive that. And there's other people that like receiving genital touching, but they don't want to do that back to their partner. I think they're known as a rock and a paper, you know, like the old rock, paper, scissors game. I think a rock is someone who's got the genitals, basically, and a paper is someone who does stuff to the genitals. So sometimes someone's a rock and sometimes someone's a paper. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that's the analogy someone used on another channel who's asexual. So again, it's down to the personal preference of their partner. Like, I like kissing, licking, sucking a guy's nipples and chest, but I don't want him to do that to mine. But if I was in a serious committed relationship, I might like him to touch me below, but I don't want to touch his below part. So I'm opposite to the guy. Do you see what I mean? I'm opposite to what I'll do to him, to what I like him to do to me. That's where I'm at the moment. It might change, I don't know, because some people change, don't they? But that's where I'm at the moment. At the moment, I don't like a guy touching me full on my breast. I don't like it. I don't want him sucking it. Don't want him touching it. Don't want him kissing it. Don't want him licking it. I don't mind doing that for him, but I don't want that on me. And so you really got to understand your boundaries before you get into a relationship. And you should be talking and discussing things early on about physicality stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very important, because so many people get mismatched needs. Even, you know, with asexuals, we've all got different physical needs. Like, I don't want to take my clothes off. I want to remain clothes on. And most asexual guys, they either don't like as much kissing as I do, or they want the full touch all over the body of the woman experience. And I don't like that. I find it much more exciting kissing with clothes on. I always have done. Clothes start to come off and I get bored, quite frankly. I'm okay, like I said, with a guy's chest. But I mean, like, in my experience of dating heterosexuals, because I try not to date heterosexuals because, you know, it's not really going to last unless it's really a sexual person that can live without sex forever. But in my experience of the last 3 years where I've dated one sexual guy about once a year, I've always been the one doing more work than they have the majority of the time. I've been on top snogging them. I've been kissing their chest. I've been kissing their neck, kissing their ears. I've been doing a lot of the hard work. You know, like, luckily I've got big muscles for a girl, but it does hurt after a while, you know? And I've been the one physically on top of them, and they've just been laid there, not doing it. You know, well, one heterosexual guy I dated for 2 months, he was used to having lots of sex with women, but wasn't used to kissing. He didn't even know how to kiss. And so, and you know, I was doing all the work with him. Everything. He was just laying there. Didn't even have to do anything. Do you know what I mean? And so, you know, I've had guys like that as well. So, you know, and the guy I was last with this year, he was kissing me back a lot, so I wasn't doing all the work, but I was on top of him most of the time, and he couldn't even put his arms up to go over me to kiss me. It hurt him too much. His arms were physically shaking. Yeah, he could lift me up in the air really easily, lift me right up in the air. So he was really strong. I'm sexual, but I do love kissing. Yeah, I know you're sexual, but at least you ask respectful questions most of the time. Do you know what I mean? I guess you're not asexual. I guess that a long time ago, but at least you're asking actual questions about it, questions that probably benefit other people who watch this channel. you know, and you taking a fascination in it, which is fine. Obviously, I don't, you know, like there's some sexuals that come on this channel, I'll just get rid of them or block them because they're saying disgusting stuff. I don't need to be spoken to about disgusting stuff. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I love kissing. The problem with a sexual person kissing me is they want sex within 5 minutes, the majority of them. You know, like if I was with a heterosexual guy, he would have to be very, very strong guy for me to kiss him for 2 or 3 hours without him needing to have sex with me so badly that he couldn't control himself. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously he would have to, because I'm not having sex with him, and it would be rape if he was forcing that on me or trying to push me against my will to do that. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to see him masturbating in front of me. I'm not interested in that either. So, you know what I mean? It's very difficult being with a heterosexual person. We're all human beings. It's about being respectful. Exactly. I mean, some sexual people, heterosexuals I've dated, they have been respectful. They haven't done anything, but you know, a lot of them, they can't remain faithful, which is sad, really. But I you know, it's understandable in some ways because they're sexual, but then don't get involved with me. If you know I'm looking for a monogamous, committed relationship without sex ever, then either be that and be faithful and honest and true, or don't bother being in a relationship of any sort with me. There's no point. Do you know what I mean? It's just a waste of their time and a waste of my time. I would rather that heterosexual person be with a heterosexual person if that's what made them happy and they need sex. Why would I want to stop that? But what I don't like is when a sexual person sometimes gets into a relationship with an asexual and they think they'll change us. They're like, oh, you haven't had sex. You know, we get stupid comments like, oh, you just haven't had sex with me. I mean, even in one of the dating groups I'm in, the sexual dating groups, it's like, oh, you know, you haven't had sex with me. If you did have sex with me, it'd be all different. You know, you love it then. And it's like, no, it doesn't. I've actually had good sex. My ex, long-term committed relationship ex of 8.5 years, I had very good, you know, in terms of sex. I hadn't had a better sex guy than him because he was very good at all the other stuff and he did put my needs first in that way. And he was a different person when he was doing that. He's very abusive in other ways, but when he was doing that sexual stuff, it's like it's completely opposite. Kind, caring, considerate, does stuff. And any time I wanted to stop, because I did have sex with him, but any time I wanted to stop, even mid-flow, I'd say, no, stop. And he would stop. He usually asked me a second time, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, I'm sure. So he would stop. Even if he was about to, you know, like explode, he would just stop doing that. If it's, you know, like every time. And that is a much better person sexually. You know, he didn't abuse me. He abused me in other ways, but not sexually. I was very glad that's an asexual person. I've had a good sexual experience. You know, I've had bad sexual experiences, but I've had that good sexual experience. Because some people are like, oh, you're asexual because you haven't had good sex. Well, they can't say that about me because he was good at that, you know, as sex goes. You know, I'd have rather been doing the washing up because I'm not interested in sex. But, you know, as sex goes, you know, he's good because of all the foreplay and the other stuff he did rather than the sex. But, you know, he would always stop if I didn't want to carry on with that, even if he was about to, like I said, explode or whatever. And, you know, that's a person who's good sexually like that, who won't push a woman to do something, even if they're like at the point of heightened pleasure. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm glad I had that experience. I'm glad I didn't have all bad experiences because no one can say that about me. Do you know what I mean? It's just I don't like sex. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't care for it. It does hurt somewhat. I used to cry sometimes after it because usually it left me feeling raw and I didn't understand why. And that's obviously because I'm asexual. I don't really need that or want it in the first place. I don't associate sex with love. Becoming asexual, is that a gradual scheme or is it an instant moment? You don't become asexual. You're usually something you're born with and don't realise it. So becoming asexual doesn't usually exist. You don't become asexual, which is a myth and stereotype that people think. You don't become asexual. You usually are and you don't realise it. So I had sex in the past, but I never looked at my ex and thought, I want sex with you. But I thought I was heterosexual because I didn't realise that arousal and sexual attraction are two completely separate things. And when the ex and me split up in 2011, a long time ago now, then after that, like I spent a year not being with any guys, about a year not dating or anything. Then I just couldn't have. I was dating heterosexual guys. Like a year later, I started dating. I just an expectation of sex at the end of the night made me nearly wet myself. I was like so on edge all the time, anxious, nervous, nearly wetting my pants, which is a disgusting thing to admit in public, but it's true, because it's the expectation that this person's going to want sex with you and they can't love you without sex. And how are you like in a panic. This is before I found I was asexual. It kind of pushes you into panic mode. It's like, well, I really want to kiss this guy, but I think he's going to want sex. And what if he pushes for more? And you can feel the sexual energy sometimes from some guys. It's overwhelming. It's like, it's like they're like, I don't know, like like they're setting off a fire or something around them that's sexual energy, and you're like, oh my god, and it's just like too much, even if you're really attracted to the person aesthetically, romantically, you want to kiss them. So that I just got to the stage in 2014 where I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't date sexuals, and I thought, I may as well give up on relationships. What's the point? Because I'm never gonna, because I went to see a counsellor in 2014 because I said I just can't be dating sexuals anymore, but I don't want to do, because I still like kissing and cuddling, but I don't want sex, but I do love kissing. And then she's like, oh, well, you're gonna have to have sex in order to keep a good guy. And I was absolutely horrified. I'm like, how can that be right? Forcing myself to do something I don't want to do for the sake of being with a good guy. How can he be good for me if it's something I don't want to do? How is that good for me? And so I went home and Googled, I love kissing but not sex, and that's how it came up with asexuality. I found out I was asexual. Because actually someone suggested it to me years before in a blog. They did a blog about sex education, in a formative way, not sex in a horrible, disgusting way. And they suggested, because there was a post they wrote, and I said, oh, I don't associate sex with love, and I don't like sex, and I just like kissing. And they said, I think you might be asexual. And I hated the word asexual because it had the word sexual in it. It instantly turned me off, and I'm like, no, I'm not that. I just don't associate sex with love. That's it. And I still like kissing. And I didn't even Google it. I didn't even look at it. I mean, it's silly really now. You look back like, why didn't you Google it? But maybe it just wasn't the right time in my life. Everything happens for a reason, I believe. Back then it would have probably caused me a lot of issues if I'd have found out I was asexual, because I was with a sexual person at the time. So you were in a situation, as I mentioned earlier, of being unaware of your identity. I was unaware of my identity at the time. Yeah, I was unaware of it, but I didn't become asexual. I was asexual. Looking back, I know I was asexual from a very young age, even as 6 years old. I had my first boyfriend when I was 6 years old. I didn't like any sexual stuff with him. I only liked kissing him at 6 years old. So looking back now, I know I was asexual all my life. But the reason I thought I was heterosexual, which I've worked out since my asexual discoveries, because when you find out you're asexual, you discover lots of things about yourself. You kind of look at your sexuality more and your different types of attraction and break them down. So sexuals will just see attraction as one type of thing, like usually bundled together. Romantic, aesthetic, sexual will all be together, but asexual split up romantic attraction with sexual attraction. It's two separate things. But there is other attractions like aesthetic attraction, emotional attraction, spiritual attraction. I have clothes attraction, so many attractions, but I don't experience sexual. I actually don't experience platonic, which most asexuals do. And the reason I thought I was a heterosexual for years, but just didn't really like sex, that's what I thought I was. I thought a heterosexual person who didn't really like sex. I wasn't really interested and didn't really like it. And that's what I thought I was. I mistook my high levels of arousal for sexual attraction. So when I kiss, it's very sexual behavior. My bits still get aroused. I still get aroused, but I don't ever look at the person want sex. But now like, for example, this week that's just gone, on Tuesday, when I was kissing this Indian guy in a club, he was kissing me for a long time. I didn't get aroused at all. So I don't always get aroused through kissing like I thought I did. And so I felt nothing. No sexual attraction, no arousal. I don't experience sexual attraction, but sometimes I'm like, when I'm with a sexual person, I question in my head. I'm like asking myself a question on purpose: are you experiencing any sexual attraction whatsoever right now? And my answer is always no. There's nothing there. But even with kissing, which I usually do get aroused by, this week on Tuesday, there was nothing. There was no fear. It's really weird when you're consciously aware of that. Because before, when I was with a heterosexual, I didn't have any conscious awareness of it. How do you see the difference between having sex and making love? Well, I did a video about this. And personally, for me, because I don't like sex and they both involve intercourse, then I don't like either of them, personally for me. But the difference between sex and making love is sex is purely the intercourse, a guy penetrating a woman with his penis on vagina, Sorry for the people who hate talking about this stuff. They're sex repulsed asexuals. I do apologise. But for the people who the making love is the fact that, for example, a guy, there's more emphasis put on a guy because obviously the woman, like I've explained, can't really orgasm or climax through penetration alone. So usually the woman's not getting anything out of it when the guy's exploding his load. This is physically what happens in the majority of cases, not all of them, from what I've learned. And so the making love is basically when the guy is doing all the kissing, caressing, touching and everything like that all over the woman's body, if that's what she wants. I don't like that, but if, that would be making love because it would be going into other, physical. I'm talking about in physical terms, if they're doing sexual stuff together. Obviously, like I have what I call making love with the tongue. So I don't want any penetration, don't want anal sex, don't want oral sex, not interested in that. But I love making love with the tongue, which is an expression that I created myself. I don't know if anyone else ever uses it, but it's something that I personally created where I don't want sex, but I love deep penetrative tongue kissing. Can you be asexual and make love? Well, making love is having sex still in terms of penetration. That's what they mean. An asexual person has a choice of whether they want to have sex or not, or make love or not. It's down to the individual. So, you know what I mean? Can you? I mean, I personally don't want it ever again. I don't want sex ever again. And a lot of asexuals are virgins and they don't ever want sex. And I'm quite happy to be with a virgin forever. Someone who never wants sex, because it's great for me. I think it's great if someone's a virgin. They've kept that for themselves. But some asexuals don't mind sex. Some don't mind the making love. I mean, actually, for an asexual person, to be quite honest with you, some asexuals, they hate the sex so much they just quite happy it's 2 minutes or whatever, and the guy goes in and out or whatever. Depends on what gender they are, obviously. But other asexuals, they probably like the foreplay and all the other stuff, but not really bothered about the intercourse. So they'd rather have the making love aspects if they're going to have sex, because otherwise they're not getting anything out of it. Do you know what I mean? So it depends on the individual, but there's quite a lot of asexuals that don't want sex. There's more people, asexuals, that don't want sex than do. There's a lot of asexuals that are sex repulsed, not all of them, but a lot that are. So, they don't want sex at all. I had sex in the past because I thought I had to, because I was in a relationship with sexual. I thought I was heterosexual for years. But, like I said, you can read my story and all the others in this book. Being asexualized pose is great if you want to be disease-free. Well, yeah, but there are still certain diseases you can get without penetration, aren't there? Do you know what I mean? There are still some sexually transmitted diseases that you can get in other ways, like some asexuals. I mean, the majority don't want any type of sex, but there might be a few asexuals that don't mind oral or anal, might there? But if you being asexual, I guess that is one of the benefits in general, that you don't tend to pick up any sexually transmitted infections, any transmitted diseases. You don't get pregnant if you're not having sex. You've got a load of time on your hands that you can be doing other productive stuff, mainly very treatable conditions. Yeah. But, like you said, that's one of the benefits of being asexual, isn't it? There's lots of benefits to being asexual. I like not having sex. I love it. I've been sex-free now since November 2011. November. November the 5th was when, but October is when I last had sex in 2011. And we split in 5th of November 2011. So I haven't had sex for 8 years, thank God. I don't want sex. I hate it. I'm not interested in it. And we got so much other stuff we can do with our lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're not wanting sex and if you're just doing it like to please the other person, it's just like a chore. Who wants to be doing chores all their life? You want to be having fun, I'd much rather be going to a theme park, zoo, aquarium, kissing and cuddling around it, not doing any sexual, like having sex or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just boring. I'm not interested. I don't like doing it. It's pointless to me. I'm not, if I'm not enjoying it, what's the point? Hurts and it's just not nice. I'm not interested, and I don't want that ever again in my life. I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean? It's just that it bores me. I love doing other things. Like asexuals do so much other things. We don't have to I don't even wear makeup very often, as you've probably noticed. Like I do if I go out clubbing sometimes, but do you know what I mean? I don't wear makeup. I don't need to I'm pretty anyway, you know. I believe I'm pretty anyway, in off my own right naturally. So I don't need to preen and pretty myself up for some guys. I don't need to pop my boobs out for some guys to attract them sexually. You know, I don't need to do anything. I get, as you can see, I get sexuals attracted to me all the time. I don't need to do anything. Like, just put a picture of me and my face up smiling and they get attracted to me. I don't even do anything. So, and it's really funny, ironically, because I used to get this girl in my old job a long time ago. She goes, I don't understand it. You know, you don't want sex. Beauty is in the inner self. Exactly. And this girl was like, oh, I love sex. And I keep getting the guys that come into my life that don't want sex, yet you don't want it. And you keep getting the guys who do want sex. And I'm like, well, I'm just not interested in sex. But yeah, I mean, some guys obviously who are not asexual, they think you're leading them on, or they think you're playing hard to get or playing games. Yeah, it certainly is. Exactly. Beauty is in the inner self. And I totally believe that. I think if I'm not naturally beautiful, I'm not naturally beautiful. Fine, but I still think I'm naturally beautiful. Do you know I have more guys on Facebook liking my pictures when I got no makeup on than when I have? I get far more likes, which just proves that they like my natural look far more than the other stuff anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of those guys that said in the message, oh, I so aroused by you. It's like the picture that they saw of me was when I was like ill, hadn't even combed my hair, but I still look nice. Do you know what I mean? Because it's you know what I mean? Like, being sexy really isn't about putting your boobs out. Being sexy is all about being confident, charismatic, smiling, approachable, owning your life, owning yourself, owning your aura, you know, being assertive, being strong in your own right, independent, powerful. You know, that's all sexy. I always prefer women from little to no makeup at all. Oh yeah, I don't wear makeup unless I go out somewhere. Like, I like glitter eyeshadow because I'm a glitter girl, so I like Disney stuff. And I do wear some glitter eyeshadow because it's really pretty. Eyeshadows, like, sometimes I wear like eyeshadow, like pen and thing. Well, I'm going out clubbing usually. So yeah, I don't wear, you know, but a lot of days I don't wear any, especially when I'm at home. But I do like glitter. I love glitter. I've got a thing about glitter. I love sparkly things like sparkly bag, glitter baubles. I love like sparkle and magic. I date myself a lot. I go on a lot of self dates. It's very important. I go to the cinema, out for meals, particularly at the cinema, kids club. And I purposely watch movies with no sex in them. If you look at my channel, if you're subscribed, I don't know if you are, you're welcome to. But in my list, there is no sex movie reviews because I purposely watch movies that have no sex in them whatsoever, and I review them to tell people about them. And I've got a playlist of the no sex movies that I've reviewed. So it's really, really good. I love watching movies. I hate nudity. I don't like nudity. I'm nudity repulsed. Which is rare for asexuals. I hate nudity in films, in sculptures, on TV, in paintings. I hate nudity, full stop. I don't think the body should be naked. I really hate women who plaster their face. It just ruins natural beauty, even if they're not particularly attractive to me. Yeah, I don't like that either. But I mean, a lot of the women in the sexual groups, they purposely get a photograph of them, right? And they take pictures of their boobs and they wear the most skimpiest tops they can that's hanging like down near their nipples so they can see all the boobs. I'm just thinking, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? You're not going to last 5 minutes, right? Maybe loads of guys go, oh, great, you look gorgeous or whatever because they're looking at the boobs, but you're not going to base a successful, happy, healthy relationship on a woman's boobs, are you? Just like looking at their boobs. It's not going to work. And if they're flaunting their boobs at you, who else do you think they're flaunting their boobs at? Quite a lot of different people, I can tell you. It's the same with guys. If the guys have got their shirt off, the guys are flaunting their body everywhere, they're just going to be doing that to tons of women. I mean, you know, if you click through the guys that message me, you might as well involve the nipples too. It's so bad. Well, yes, I don't like no respect for themselves. I don't like any of that stuff, you know, but there's loads of guys in the dating groups and they just, you know, they've got women that, you know, are just like that all the time that they've friended. And it's like, you know, you don't have to friend women just because they look like that. You know, if that's all you want to do is just collect friends with the booze, am I really going to be interested in a guy like that? Nope. I'm not interested in a guy like that. Why would I be? I don't you know, preferably I want to be with an asexual guy because I don't have that worry and that hassle. The heterosexual guy I dated for 2 months a few years ago, I said to him, I'd rather be with an asexual guy. It's less worry. And he said, yeah, I think you're right. I can see it's less worry for you because I don't think this guy was going to be faithful. Even someone I knew who's a mutual friend, he said to me, I don't think he would have been faithful to you anyway. I think he would have been having sex behind your back with other women anyway. So I'm glad that I, you know, escaped from him. But, you know, there's just so much other stuff I'd rather be doing than having sex. I don't really want to get a sexual guy because they need sex, most of them, and I don't want to do that. And I don't want to feel like I'm depriving them, or they're thinking, oh, I want to go have that with other women, or do it behind my partner's back. I'm not interested in that. I'd rather just be with an asexual guy. Sexual women who respect themselves shouldn't really be into guys like that either. I agree, you know. It's hard though, because some guys portray themselves as innocent. Do you know what I mean? A lot of guys on Facebook, some of them, they keep their friends list secret. So you can't see all the women that they've got. The way you find that out, which I know a way to find that out, is you just go and look at all their likes. And if you click on their likes and every post that's got a picture of them has got women liking it, it's like going to be the majority of women are going to be friends on their friends list. Do you know what I mean? I think guys who hide their friends has got stuff to hide. Do you know what I mean? Hi, Batata, space. Yeah. So I think I've got to wrap up in a minute because my throat is getting very sore. Like I've been talking for over 2.5 hours, which is great. But if anyone's got any more questions before I go, because I'm going to have to go, because my voice, because I did have a respiratory infection, my voice went completely. And if my voice goes again, I'm on this stream every night. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to be able to stream anymore for another few weeks because I was off here for like a couple of weeks. But yeah, I think I've gone through everything now. So yeah, thanks so much for watching tonight. I really appreciate it. I know Batata's only just come on this channel. It's an asexual channel, meaning I absence of sexual attraction. Don't marry any Indians. I won't marry anyone. If an Indian wants to be with me, he'll have to be with me without marriage because I'm worth it. So anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much to Sam, who's my best friend. We're not romantically involved, but I just send love to my friends. Thank you to Ray, who's been on here as well. We're not romantically involved. He's my friend. Thank you to Heather. We're not romantically involved. I'm just sending some love. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Mer Sims? Love to you as well. Thank you for joining us. And Batata has just joined me. Thank you. Lots of love to you. Lots of love to everyone. Have I said yes? Heather, Sam, Ray, Ms. Mer. I can't pronounce your name. Mer Sims. And Batata and everyone else. Sam seems like a decent. Oh, they identify as non-binary. So even though they look like a guy, they identify as non-binary. But yeah, they are absolutely amazing. They're my best friend in the world. They're an incredible person. I'm so lucky to have them. Bye. Thank you. Thanks to everyone. Bye. Lots of love to everyone. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now. That's okay. Don't worry. Every time I go live right now, I'll post a new video. Don't forget to check out this book on Amazon as well. It's really, really good. You'll enjoy it. And thanks, Sam. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Till next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it and share it with someone if you know someone will benefit from it. Take care. Bye. Bye. Lots of love.